criminals or aggressors, and that's all I'm representing. We have a plethora of different types of people in our culture that mean different things and represent different things. And being in Brixton in the late 90s, early 2000s, you saw it live. I remember telling people, I don't know if you guys remember, but did you guys ever see a black corner shop owner? Who ever saw a black corner shop owner?
I did. Just one.
Right.
Just one.
Okay. Right.
It's not the same one. It's the same one.
Right. Like growing up in Brixton, you see black corner shop owner, you see black everything, black tailor, black fabric shop owner, black meat, everything you could imagine as a business owner in Brixton was there at one point, and that's the energy I remember growing up seeing. So as things have changed in London and changed a little bit, it's becoming less and less prevalent. So I wanted to start writing. I wrote about gentrification, and Brixton was one of the places I wrote about, having lived there and seen the change in it. I wrote about generational wealth too, but those are more like blogs and articles on websites and stuff like that. But, so I started thinking about how can I figure out ways to showcase the black stories of success that I found. Because I only want to talk about success. I didn't want to talk about no struggle stories. I didn't want to talk about anything to do with like crime or anything to do with like slavery and victim mentality. I wasn't really trying to write about anything about nature because, again, growing up in the black community, you saw different angles of the culture in different ways. So I thought, let me just only write about positive stories. So I started digging. And I discovered that there were so many like great people that wasn't really documented. And if they were documented, they weren't told to us in the same way we know about Oprah and Jay-Z and P. Diddy and all the Americans that we love and know. And growing up, it's so funny because Dave Dash has been there like the last week. And I've been to like 2 or 3 of his events because I'm such a fanatic of Dave Dash because he was like the first businessman I saw. But not knowing, on a major scale media-wise, but not knowing that we had great people across many generations, even in the UK. So if I'm finding stories about black culture, and understanding that there was success stories in the UK, in Canada, in America, obviously, and the Caribbean and Africa, I started to realize that I needed to do more than an article because I set off trying to write an article because I've been writing articles, so naturally I just thought, let me just keep writing articles. But after I found like maybe 20 stories, I was like, this is bigger than an article. And it needed to have a bit more, so I brought my idea to life by just writing, and then when I got to around 50 characters, I realized this was a real thing that I had to produce it. So ironically, at the same time, my friend was really pushing me to try and like do something and like make sure I finished it, because I started speaking, Nicholas Dex, I started speaking about my book to him, and he was like, bro, like, I know you love the enjoyment thing and entertainment thing and partying and all that, but you got to showcase the people that you have around the side to you as well. And this book is how you're going to do it. So I didn't really listen to them. I just kept going to festivals and partying all night. That was basically what I was doing. And then one day he called me when I was on the way to Parkland Festival. I was on the train, I was in my shorts ready to party, man. My shorts and Air Forces ready to party in the mud. And he was like, bro, I don't know where you're going, but when you get back, make sure you start writing your book. And I don't know what it was. I don't know, maybe it was the mud and the rain and too many things were happening. I don't know. I thought, you know what? Yeah, this is lit. I love lifestyle and I love partying, but I also love education and history. So when I got back to London, I started the book. And ironically, at the same time, I saw the Nike prize come out, and I thought, oh yeah, let me enter it. Like, let me just take a punt at entering it, because you never know in it. Like, I just did it, and I never really expected it to go far because I'm a first-time writer. I've never written anything like a book before. And I saw like journalists and proper writers and students of like English language majors and stuff like that entering. I thought, yeah, there's no way I'm even gonna get selected. So I thought, you know what, like, although I'm a guy, I'm a man, I grew up in the ends, I still wanted to represent for that as well, because I just felt like no guys were really doing this type of thing anymore. So I entered. It's funny because I kind of know Swansea, like, we kind of relatively know each other, and I used to see him like some of the guys in the area play football, so I saw him at football a couple of times. And I didn't really mention to him that I entered the competition, because I didn't really want it to be like, oh yeah, I'm trying to shimmy my way in by knowing you and get myself into your book thing. So I didn't say nothing to him. So when I actually made it as a finalist into the competition, I was surprised, I was shocked, and I was selected as a finalist. I went to the actual Mercury competition finals. And just, yeah, all the people I saw online that looked very daunting and scary, I was there with them. And yeah, it was a really great experience, to be honest with you. I felt really motivated to do something. Although I didn't feel like I was worthy of the role, I was accepted well. So anyways, long story short, I didn't win. On the day I thought I was going to win. I thought I won as well. Let me tell you a funny story. I was set. I thought I was going to win. Let me tell you why. So the day of the event, right, like I thought I was, obviously I'm a novice, so I'm not thinking of it, but I knew my concept was short, so I wasn't really worried. I knew my concept was solid. So I knew if anything, my concept would take me along. But I started talking to the writers, and it's like, they were looking at me like, wow, this concept is sick, like, this is sick, like, and I looked at the energy in the room, and everyone was looking towards me like I was doing something. I didn't really feel like, it was just weird. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm close, I don't know, like, maybe I want to get somewhere. Then all the publishers, they started asking me those questions, and then the final straw was like, the BBC guy came and he was like, oh yeah, we're going to do an interview because, you know, yeah, we're going to do an interview. And I was thinking, okay, cool. Maybe, like, I started getting excited, like, yeah, I'm going to win, because everyone started saying like, yeah, your book is sick, this is sick, everything. And then BBC guy interviewed me, and I thought, yeah, let me wait 2 weeks ahead, I won. And yeah, 2 weeks came and I didn't win. And in fact, to add insult to injury, they announced 2 winners that year. So there was 2 winners of the prize that year, not 1. And I wasn't the second one either. But I was happy.
The winners don't get far, bro.
You know what? I'm not even gonna. Their concepts are brilliant. The winners, their concepts are worthy. They deserve to win as well. But I just felt like Stormy said something on that day, and I felt like he was speaking to me. He said something like, you have to really believe and fight for what you're doing, or else, like, yeah, you're just not gonna be remembered. And I just felt like he was talking to me. He wasn't talking to me, but it felt like he was talking to me. So it just added a little bit of like motivation to be like, you know what, I'm gonna finish this book and release it no matter what, because it isn't enough to participate. You have to finish. You have to complete the missions you're set on, no matter what the circumstances. So yeah, I took the opportunity to invite myself to create a publishing company to do a book. Publishing company I've never done. Don't worry, you can come in. Publishing company that I never knew nothing about creating a publishing company, didn't know where to start, didn't know where to finish, didn't know nothing about it. So not only was I a first time writer, I was a first time publisher as well. And yeah, so that was really daunting, but because of my determination to complete things, I had to do it. So yeah, another thing was, I knew when you say you're black and you're doing a book independently, people expect the book to look like this laptop, you know what I mean? Like, there's things going to be as thin as like some thin thing that has 3 pages in it, you know what I mean? Yeah, I have a book now, guys, buy it. So that's what I thought. I knew people would expect that, you know what I mean? So they wouldn't take it seriously. So I decided that not only am I going to go above and beyond, I'm going to dedicate my entire life to getting to the place I wanted it to be. So I did that, and I felt like I produced something really, really interesting. And the book isn't as big and thick as that, but it's kind of there. If you have it, you know. So yeah, so I released it independently, and yeah, the journey was an interesting one, because when you realize that there's so many successful black people, and you read their stories and you understand what they have to go through to do it, it made me even more determined to do things, because I thought I had handicaps in terms of like trying to do what I'm doing and where I was at the time, till I read stories about people that had to escape slavery and then, you know, run away and move country and so many different things that I thought my challenges were hard, but there was nothing compared to their challenges. So you know, I picked myself up and stopped feeling sorry for myself. Well, yeah, I can do this, because if someone had to escape slavery to be successful in business, what can I do then? Do you know what I mean? That's the least I can do. So yeah, that was it. So yeah, so I put the book out. It was well received. Lots of people bought it and supported it, and yeah, I feel like here we are today. So I told the story on Monday last week. I had a book launches for NYC, and I told a different story from the one I'm having today. So yeah, I put that out online so you can see that one. But basically, to summarize it, I went to Jamaica on holiday, went to party as I like to do when I'm not doing serious things. And then yeah, I was on the beach and I met a guy who's trying to introduce me to. Yeah, I'll get there, don't worry. I met a guy that I just met random people on the beach. You know, I don't know if anyone's been to Jamaica and you've been on the beach, people just come up, especially Americans, they just come up to you and start talking, they don't even care, like, they just start talking to you out of nowhere. And I love that because it was different from us. Like, we'll just sit there and be cool, like we didn't see what people are talking about. And then they'll just come up to you like, yo, how you doing, man? Like, what's up with you? Why are you here on this beach? Like, that. So a guy did that to me. Like, he saw me sitting by, like, I used to go to this place every day, and he saw me sitting there like a couple times. And he came over to me like, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I'm in consulting, I'm in entertainment, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, entertainment, you just heard music. I said entertainment, but you heard music, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, come on, we on the road, blah, 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 but this guy's making music, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, you know what, I ain't got nothing to do, let me just come. Because Jamaica was in COVID, so, you know, by 8 o'clock, everything was locked down. So I thought, let me go listen to some Jamaican artists, you know what I mean? Anyway, he took me there, I listened to their music, and yeah, took the guys' deals. They were really talented as well, I ain't gonna lie. Then the Yardman on the beach was 6 still. Yeah, I rate their things differently, but yeah, at the end of it, like, yeah, we just went back, and you know, I had my book on me, so what I like to do is just bring it out. I don't know no reason, I just bring it out whenever I'm around people. Pretend I'm reading it, because obviously I read it. But you never know who's looking, right? So I just bring it out, just brought it out, just pretend I'm reading it. I sort of plug it, yeah. But not that, but yeah. But anyways, for those of you caught that, but yeah. But yeah, so he saw it like, what's that book? Like, because I've been piloting the paperback version, so the version that I've been sending was the hardback, but I had the paperback version with me. It had a different color, same thing, but it's a yellow cover, so it was quite bright. So he's like, what's that yellow, what's that about with the black fist? I'm like, oh, he's like, I've got a book. He's like, he looked at me like, you wrote that book? Like, you know when you look at someone like, you don't believe they did something, and he literally looked at me like, you know Americans are brazen, they just stare at you like, you did that? I was like, yeah, I did that. He's like, oh, let me see, and I let him have a look at it or whatever, and he skimmed through it, and he's like, you sure you did this? I'm like, yeah, I did it. He's like, alright, cool, like, yeah, the book's alright, but I can make it better. And I was like, I'm looking at him like, nah, bro, no, you can't make this better. This is like as far as you can go. He's like, nah, I can make this better. And then, so I goes to, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a publisher. I was like, really? Like, right. So I was thinking he's just like, no offense to him, but I just thought, because the way he had been moving, I didn't take him like a serious person, because he was just having fun the whole time. Like, he's been jumping off he would jump off the cliff, he was doing bad things, like he's having fun with his life. And he's just having fun. And then he's like, yeah, I'm a publisher, man, but I can make this go better. And then he's like, give me the details, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna send you some stuff. I feel like I'm gonna hit up the team back home, and I'm gonna make it go better. So I was thinking, hit up the team back home. I'm starting to take it a little bit more serious at this point, because when you say hit up the team back home, I'm hoping he means like some serious team. Anyways, I still didn't really think nothing of it. A couple of days went by, and then he messaged me like, yo, come to the spot that we always go to. So I just went there, because, you know, most people went there to hang out, because you just look out, I don't know if any of you follow me on social media, but there was an epic scene, like, I used to go to every day, and you just look out into the ocean for miles. So everyone used to like go in there, so I went there, and I saw him, he's like, yo, I'm gonna give you a publishing deal. Like, I like your concept, because he took the book home with him, so I'm gonna give you a publishing deal, I'm gonna make your book better, we're gonna bring this thing worldwide. And I'm gonna do it as a JV, because I know what you stand for, rather than trying to like sign the book away and take all the rights to it. I'll give you a JV, and then we can release your book, and then, you know, you can retain all the film rights, documentary rights, all those sort of things.
What's a JV?
Okay, a joint venture deal. So, right, so my book is signed, but it's signed as a joint venture between my company and their company to release the book worldwide. Because although I've been selling it, I hadn't taken a step to sell it on Amazon or Waterstones or WH or anything like that yet, because I wanted to perfect the paperback version, because I hadn't selling the hardback version. And I wanted to make it affordable, because the hardback version was quite expensive. It was £30 at the time, and I wanted to make a version that could be a bit more affordable, because, you know, people hitting me up like, yo, Bill, I'm gonna buy your book, man. Trust me, I got you. Then I think they went on the website and saw the price. Yo, bro, I love you, but now it's £3 So I knew I had to make another version. So yeah, but he's like, yeah, we'll make you several versions, blah blah, and do all that. So yeah, long story short, I got the deal, and yeah, the book comes out, gets re-released next August 2023, and yeah, man, that's the story of how that went. So, yeah. So there's two reasons why we're here. Earlier in the year, my boy sitting here was going to join me in a minute to talk about how we did it. you hit me up. We've been friends for like over 10 years. I've been, working in the community. Like sometimes you're cool with everyone, but you don't necessarily do any work together because it's just like how it goes, isn't it? But obviously, I always admired his work because he's one of the people that literally dedicated their life to their work. Literally, like people that do their thing, and there's people that dedicate their lives to their work. And I felt like he was one of those people that dedicated his life to his work and demonstrated it by producing results year after year and stuff. And he hit me up and he's like, yo, I'm trying to work on a campaign and I want you to be a part of it. And I felt like it's something that you would resonate with really well, and I've been learning out for a while now. And I thought it'd be best that you actually did this with me because, like as a community, we don't have enough involvement collaboratively, and I feel like us doing something like this together would be really, really dope for the community, and executing at a high level would be something that we wanted to do. So I was like, yeah, I saw the idea. Obviously, he's my guy. I know what he stands for. I know what his work ethic is like. He works by demonstration. Some people, they're actively online. You can't see what they're doing. There's not much results to show. But he's the direct opposite of that. Like, he doesn't even show his face too much. Like, he's more about look at my work, then maybe look at me a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's even one of the reasons why I wanted to come today and actually be on stage, because I wanted to be like someone that showcases like what he's about. Because when we have our conversations, when we were trying to secure like working together about the whole thing, we used to have like 1-2 hour conversations every time, talk about the history, the journey, our community, and what it means and what we can do and our contribution. And I just felt like I was in a podcast every time, you know what I mean? Like talking to him is like being in a podcast. So I want to welcome to the stage my brother Kenny and Jonathan. Make some noise, everyone. Let me get the other mic for him. Okay. 1, 2. Thank you for joining us, bro. I really appreciate it. It's been a journey, but today is about yourself, and I want to talk about you and the Gay Images campaign that we worked together, the Black Culture Collection. So let me start off by asking you a few questions about your journey so far. Like, how did you get into business, and what made you want to be like a Black business leader? Like, what made you start off by participating in culture, and how did you get here to be where you are now?
Okay, so first of all, definitely got to give it up for the team, because what you've done is amazing. I'll be honest with you. When you brought me the book, I've never seen someone, especially come from our community, and produce something so spectacular. And I will get into it. I don't want to give it away too early.
He doesn't mean that,
Nah, I truly mean, he knows I mean it, because I champion him every day for his work.
No, literally, we'll be on campaigns, right? And he'll stop whatever business we're doing to bring up my book. Honestly, one of my biggest campaigners. We're each other's campaigners, but literally anywhere we are, he'll literally stop what we're doing to talk about my book. Honestly, really appreciate it.
Nah, you know what it is, man. So also, like you said, I'm kind of a behind the scenes man, if I'm honest with you. When I was younger, I was a bit more active and everywhere, but I think as I got older, I never really wanted to be that person that was in a room that everyone knew and no one knew what I'd done. I think that was really counterproductive, and I think, especially from our community, a lot of people are happy with just being seen and famous without no accolades or putting in the right steps to be appreciated in those steps. So I kind of retracted myself. I got married, I had kids, so also I had a purpose. Do you get what I mean? So kind of give you, my story, a very long story, but I'll kind of skim through it. So I started my first business when I was about 16, 17 years of age. It's a fashion brand. That's kind of where I started off. We had some, relative success, I guess. We was stocking
great success. One of the leading brands in the UK that helped invent the ideology of streetwear in the UK. We gotta get that part right.
So we was doing I guess after a few years, we was doing Selfridges, Harvey Nichols, Harrods, and we really had some success. But at that time, I built up a network that was, I guess at the time sometimes you meet people, but the value that they bring, you can't necessarily activate in the space that you're in, but you hold those relationships.
What was the brand?
It was a brand called Play Dot Apparel.
So make some noise.
So I'm just gonna, I'll skip through the journey anyway, but you know, as time gone on, through my brand, I had access and I was meeting a lot of people. So one customer at the time, one customer that was like an avid, you know, was regularly buying on the website was footballer Wilfried Zaha, and we built a relationship. So I was into sports, but I wasn't an avid sports fan. So when he's purchasing clothes, I'm just like, just buy the clothes, not really caring about, you know, the celebrity status of what it is. But we built a relationship because one time he had come down to meet me, and I didn't talk to him about sports, I just spoke to him about his life. And I think he appreciated that as a young man, he was going through some public troubles within his playing career. So what happened is, after some time, he wanted to create a brand. So he had approached me and said, look, I want to do this, I don't know how to start. These guys have got a lot of money, but they just don't have the know-how. So I partnered with him, 50 business partners, in starting his own brand, which was Long Live, which myself and Wilfried founded. And then again, I think we had quite quick success. So with his brand, we started selling in the Crystal Palace Club store. We launched it in Harvey Nichols again also, which then led me to doing like the creative designing for Crystal Palace, their kit designs. But then also they gave me the whole ground floor in their office to kind of create my own creative hub. So I basically became like a creative consultant for the football club, right? So I think naturally, as Wilfried was going to a lot of these business meetings, he'd bring me along so I could go and leverage the brand and see what we can do from a partnerships perspective. And one thing I noticed that when we was going to these big meetings, there was no representatives around. So this is a young guy, he's earning, you know, tens to hundreds of thousands of pounds a week and having some of the biggest meetings of his life, but these people that are supposed to have expression behind the scenes on behalf of him are not there. They're only there for the money moments. So I remember one time, you know, I can say this in this space, it's documented now. I went to a meeting with him and it was with Puma. And today he's talking, look, we want to make you a 360 global ambassador for Puma. Crystal Palace is going to turn into Puma. Ivory Coast is with Puma. You'll be our biggest 360 athlete. But what I realized is no one was talking about the money. They were just talking about, okay, we're going to put you here on this billboard, and it sounded great. So I kind of butted in because I said, he's not going to ask the question. So what's the numbers? When they mentioned the numbers, I said, you know what? With all the commitment that they want you to have versus the money, it becomes a slave deal because the commitment of what they want you to do versus how much you're getting paid does not match up. We ended up not taking that deal. After that, he came to me and said, look, I want you to help me with my branding, my brand alignment. And basically taking him out of his deal with Nike and not taking the deal with Puma, I made him probably double what he would have made over 4 years in 1 year from just utilizing these commercial partnerships. So again, I'm going to skip through this part really quickly. So basically then what had happened was we had some success. So I was getting him a lot of commercial attention, helping him to clean up his image, his brand alignment. And then I realized at a certain point, because I was getting recommended a lot at the time and I was turning down a lot of jobs because I tried to be a bit more calculated. Like I said, I don't just jump at opportunities, it's got to make sense to me. And what happened was, I realized at a point, what I'm doing for him is bigger than money or myself. Because it's not just about helping these guys to generate money, it's about mentorship. It's about having experience and guiding people through life in money management, financial literacy, and just guiding them on their journey. So what I've done is I set up my business, which I currently have now, which is the modern day. My company is called The Mailroom. Very easy company, by the way. It's a sports management / marketing agency, and the concept is really simple. Our message is we deliver. Whatever we say we're going to do, we make sure we do it on behalf of the guys that we have. So the guys that we represent at the moment, I guess commercially, where a multi-sports agency would be like Wilfried Zaha, Reece James, Leon Bailey, Edu Mendy. We look after Joshua Boazzi. We look after OJ Odoborom, Team GB Olympic sprinter who just won gold at the Commonwealth Games. And then there's a few others, but we consult with Daniel Carter, Nikita Paris. There's a few people that we represent. But my thing now is about expression, because a lot of the people that are in control of these young, really talented athletes, they don't care about their voice and expression. Hence the reason why when you look into the media and you're seeing, the scrutiny of, these young people, is because they're being led in directions where the people don't understand them, so they push them to the walls.
Right.
So for me, it's about being in control of your narrative, but creating a safe space where they can have conversations. People don't understand where social media is not the place to address everything. But traditional media also, those guys don't like going to them because there's always clickbait titles to kind of throw them under the bus. So they're never able to clear up their own narratives. So for me, it's about understanding where they've come from and then kind of molding those conversations in the right platforms where they can be unapologetically themselves and get the full stories out. Do you know what I'm saying? That's one side of it.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. So to touch on the Get Images campaign, so I feel like it was a really exciting time, an exciting moment for both of us, but like what made you want to get, I think we have to keep it moving a little bit, time is short, right? I know, but I don't know if everyone's seen it. There's actually like a small exhibition in the room behind. If you haven't seen it, you can have a look at it afterwards. With that, we basically spoke to our inner selves in terms of creating something, because not very often you get a chance to work on something that you're double excited to work on. So when Kenny messaged me like, hey, let's work on this together, I saw where it was and I was instantly involved. But please, bro, tell us how it came about.
So I guess I need someone who worked at Getty Images. Getty Images, for you guys that don't know, is like the biggest content hub in the world, hands down. And what the problem is that they have all of this this content that is stored, but they don't tell stories with it, which is crazy to me. So I pitched them pre-pandemic that I wanted to do, look deeper into their archives and use these stories, these images to tell stories. Skip on 2 years, they then came back to me and was like, look, we want to bring your idea to life. So they've got like an archive of maybe over 40,000 images through time of Black history that they wanted to hand out the rights out for free for content creators to tell the stories. So for me, a lot of the things in modern society now is about musicians, sports, or very like relevant, popping individuals of today's age. But for me, when I approached Miller knowing what he had done with his book and what he was about, I wanted to unearth some stories that communicate to, different communities, different societies, but also different age groups. Because we can focus on them now, but the problem is, if we don't focus on the people that laid the foundation for us, how will we know where we're going if we don't even know where it started? Right. So that was kind of like the nuance behind why we done this project.
Amazing. So during the process of doing the campaign, it was a really exciting one for me because it was an opportunity to work with people that had like-minded visions, but also, trying to educate corporations about how we see things. Because, not to go into it and make it a political thing, there were different parties involved in the campaign process, and I don't, they were Black too, but they didn't really understand our side of where we're coming from. And, I guess we didn't understand theirs, but we knew that we had the ability to complete the mission, actually do it at a high level, just as good as anyone else, but we had to prove ourselves, and they made us jump through a few hoops. So bro, do you mind talking about how many hoops we had to jump through to prove that not because you don't talk with a particular accent doesn't mean you can't do a particular job the same way, so yeah.
Yeah, I guess one of the things when, I was on a Zoom call, and there was probably about 7 to 8 people, and I realized we're doing a story piece around Black history, and I'm the only Black person on here. And I'm having to have the conversation with white people who are still in control of our narrative, trying to explain to them why we need to tell our story, but they're in control of the budget. On top of that, they want us to tell our stories and not giving us the right budget. And I could have complained about all of that stuff, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes we know we want our reparations, we want the money. But then I realised, if I'm honest with you, again, it's just, this thing is bigger than us. We don't know all the corporate lingo when, I guess some of them, but there was a guy on the call who was, he spoke their language, but he couldn't do it. And one thing me and Miller have been speaking about this week is about being ignorant enough to sit in spaces where sometimes you don't believe you should sit, or they don't believe you should sit, but having the confidence to say, I can do the job regardless if I don't have all the fancy lingos to kind of fit into your constraint, do you know what I mean? Right. So yeah, man, we just kind of took it head on. And again, there was many because I don't believe they felt like we was the right people for the job.
No, they didn't.
They liked our ideas, but we didn't, I guess we was abnormal to them because they didn't understand the way that we process things, where the other person kind of sat on the other side of the fence but didn't have the action plan. So I just said to them, look, we don't have all the fancy lingo, we're not going to do that, but one thing we know that we can do is tell the story in the right way that it needs to be told. And long story short, they kind of brought us in as the B agency to do it. The person that they brought in as the A agency to do it ended up flopping. They then ended up giving them their workload to us, apologized to us, and then wanted us to clean up the mess. And we had to do 5 months worth of work in 5 weeks with a low budget. And at this point, what I said to Miller, because I was contemplating, should we just scrap the project or continue with it? And I said, let's continue with it, because now again, it's not about the money or the actual project, it's about showing them that there are black people and black agencies that can handle this and get things done regardless of what the situation is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't want them to think that they can't give projects to young up-and-coming agencies because, they have bad experiences. We need to show them that we can do everything that we can do within our power to make stuff work.
Right.
Hey,
amazing.
We've been doing more with less for time.
Right.
Exactly, you know what I mean?
Right. To summarize it, bro, how do you feel for having done the collection, working with, daily working with major corporations, sitting in the room and representing our culture, where do you see, campaigns like this that we just produced, and how do we continue to basically build our corporate relationships, but also where do you see the input needed for building relationships, on both sides? Because, this isn't necessarily about ostracizing a certain community. It's about making sure the right people are in place to support people that come from a particular place. So how do you see the future of the industry, and how we continue to play your role in terms of making sure that we are representing the right way?
Yeah, I guess, look, I'll be honest with you, I started as a business at 16, and personally, I didn't have no other entrepreneurs to look up to, so I kind of had to drag myself through the mud, through trial and error. But I think, as a community, everyone likes to use this word of, we got to stand together, and no one actually does it. So the reason why I partnered with Miller, because you're an expert in this field. So when it comes to the dynamic of storytelling, someone who's created a book called Black Enterprise, and we're doing a black project on the history of our black people to educate, why would I not collaborate with you? And again, it's not just about getting your friends in a room to rally together to say we can do it. We need to work with people that are good. Because we're just working with black people who have no passion for excellence, then again, it's counterproductive and very damaging for the long term. So we got to make sure that the people that we're partnering with have an excellent mindset to complete themselves.
Amazing, bro. Thank you so much. By the way, guys, please check out the Mail Room on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Kenny does amazing. Honestly, you have to follow him on LinkedIn to use LinkedIn. Honestly, he inspired me to be a better thinker and approach things differently by being the excellence he puts into everything that he does, but also the way he demonstrates his journey on LinkedIn. So, guys, so follow him on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if you want to share your profile, bro. If that's what I mean.
It's the Mail Room on everything, as in like the MAIL room. But on LinkedIn, it's probably, I don't have a personal profile, as I said. LinkedIn is my only personal profile, which is under my name, Kenny Annan Jonathan. But I share my life story on there and my day-to-day journeys of working. Kenny Annan Jonathan, so ANNAN Jonathan. Or type in the Mail Room and you can find, it will link into my personal profile.
Big up yourself.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you, guys.
Hey! What about Q&A? Q&A.
We'll do a chance to do that in a bit. Quick one, guys. If you ever get a chance to look at the Gay Images campaign, it's called the Black Culture Collection. Just Google it, the Black Culture Collection. And there's over 40,000 images, as Kenny mentioned, there that you can sign up for and potentially use. And learn Black history. I actually learned Black history through the photos. So I thought I knew a lot, then I actually started going through the pictures and I learned like loads of stories. Some of them are actually put on the wall behind us, in the room behind, if you haven't seen it. I learned Black history literally through the photos, so just give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna have to go and introduce the next guest, so give me 1 minute, guys, sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So basically, another reason why I wanted to do this event was I wanted to talk about the story of Brixton, because I felt like Brixton was such a massive part of the journey of Black culture and Black people. And a lot of things have been changing, but I wanted to have a conversation with people that knew Brixton, understand Brixton, and can tell us where things have been or where we're going. So I want to welcome Etta to the stage. Etta Burrell. She's got Etta Seafood in Brixton Village. Hi everyone, welcome Etta. How you doing, you right? Yeah, so Etta is an amazing lady. I actually met her very recently, and I felt like people, I was speaking earlier about being in Brixton and understanding the story of Brixton. It was an interesting one for me because I used to see people in Brixton and felt at home, and I met her and I started speaking to her and I felt at home. So Etta is a business owner, but I want to take the story a little bit back first, if that's alright with you. What's your earliest memory of being Black in London? What's your earliest memory of being a Black, woman in London or girl in London? What's your earliest memory of that? One, two.
I came here in 68.
Hold the mic close to your mouth, yeah.
68. When I first came, I thought there was smoke coming out the chimney. And I thought, oh my God, my dad's brought me here in a factory. But that's all the things that I...
1 second, can you hear her, guys?
Really, it's possible.
Speak a bit, bring the mic a little bit closer like this.
Okay.
Better?
Okay.
Yes, perfect.
All right. I came here in 68. I was 9 years old.
Yeah. Where did you come from?
I came from Jamaica.
Okay. Big up Jamaicans in the house. Big up everyone in the house. Big up Jamaicans in the house.
Girl, I am.
East side.
Yeah. And it was really strange. I didn't know what snow was. We got sort of like closed in the house with the snow was right up to the door and stuff like that.
Right.
And then we had petrol, sort of like paraffin.
Yep.
And then there was like chill blades and then all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. And the funniest thing was, our parents used to beat me. And I'm thinking, no, they don't understand why they're doing that.
Right.
But it was sort of like things they knew and to do, and I was really shocked. And I remember when I was 13, I tried to kill myself, thinking,
wow.
My parents would be sorry. And they said, how are they going to be sorry and you're dead? So I woke up to that. And I've always been in Brixton. So I was 9 years old. I saw the changes.
Yeah.
Funny enough, 1968 was like now.
Right.
There was loads of white people,
Yeah.
loads of stuff, and we were sort of like segregated and
Yeah.
couldn't do anything that, wasn't let out. We could
Right.
go to church and come back, and I remember I used to sneak out from church saying I went to church, and I went to St. Matthew's.
Right.
And dance all night.
We've got something in common there.
Yeah. And then my parents locked me out, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that was something else.
Right.
But and then I had a back shop in Atlantic Road.
Right. Amazing.
In the 70s.
Wow.
And then...
What made you want to create a back shop?
Well, I worked for the Jewish guy, and he wanted to do all bags, and so we ended up there. That was in 79.
Wow.
And then I had a partner in Granville Arcade.
Sorry to cut you, were there a lot of black businesses in Brixton at that time?
There was no black business, nowhere, no how. We were Schrotzers and you know, the dream was, oh, your straps are and all of this.
What does that word mean?
Black.
Oh, wow. Hey, they'll say that to you just like that.
Oh, yeah, but
Wow.
I didn't give a hooter. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I never went through that struggle of racism, really and truly.
Why do you think that was?
Oh, man.
Right.
It just bounced off. I don't take it.
Do you feel like at that time black people had to let racism bounce off them to survive?
I think they did. They accept a lot of nonsense.
Right.
And then basically, we had to get on with getting on. But we wasn't, it's not about racism. We wasn't racist.
Right.
Everybody was racist towards us. But we wasn't racist.
Right.
We just live and let live. That's what we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So speaking of your ventures in business, who inspired you to want to be involved in business? Because, you know, like you said, there weren't a lot of examples around. You couldn't see lots of people doing similar things. So what led you to want to be a participant in business?
Okay, in 2009, I had a dream that Brixton belonged to me.
Wow.
And then I went to Brixton on a Wednesday, the day I was born on a Wednesday.
Right.
And then I went to Brixton, and then they were giving away the buildings for 3 months for nothing.
Wait, start that whole thing again. Is this in a dream or real life?
Yes, I had a dream. And I was lazy and we need to go to Brixton. And when I went to Brixton, I looked around everywhere because it was really empty at that time.
Yeah.
And then I went upstairs and I said, there's no way I could afford anything down here.
Right.
I think I had about £10 in my account. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
So I went upstairs and there was a guy up there called Nigel.
Right.
And Nigel said, go away, make a business plan. What the hell is a business plan? So I went to my daughter who has an estate agency next to Lidl.
Yes.
And she said, and I said, oh, I need a business plan. And she said, okay, Mom. And she wrote a business plan.
Wow.
And then walking back to Nigel, and Nigel said to me, Etta, this is going to go on top of everything because of your personality.
Wow.
So anyway, and I know what I was good at. I was good at cooking. So every time I could have 5 stick of something.
Yeah.
And it would feed 1,000 people.
Right.
I wouldn't leave my house. I knew what I was good at.
Right.
So what I did was, they said, what are you going to do? And I'm thinking, what you know? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to cook.
Right.
And then I started to cook. Some friend built up a little kitchen, like 2 inches.
Yeah.
Every time they opened the door, it bounced me in my head. And then the queues ran around the
Where was this at this time?
This is 85, 86 Granville Arcade.
Right.
And then I started to cook and people gave me a flavor, it was amazing. I was thinking, really?
What was the culture in the market at that time? What was it
The
looking
culture
like?
in the market was empty.
Right.
Everybody closed down and it was Atlantic.
What year was this?
This was 2009.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was when gentrification was around, but it wasn't really kicked in yet. It was starting to kick in.
Nothing was happening in 2009 until these people came in and started to create little adventures for everyone.
What was your perception of, you know, people coming in, making new things and changing their environment that, you know, you helped to cultivate?
The funny thing was, it was all white people.
Right.
Yeah, coming in, and I'm thinking, oh my God, and we were like 1 or 2, and I was like the only one in there that was really black.
Right.
Yes, in the new age.
Yeah.
And then,
how does that make you feel?
Oh, I feel no way, honey. I'm 50 like a glove. If there's nothing, you just get on with what you do and do the best you can in your situation. And I never had any money. I was just bringing up my 2 kids, you know, by myself and stuff like that. So that was a little input into what I was aiming to do.
Right.
Then I used to go to film crews and stuff like that.
Amazing.
Soul pictures.
By the way, guys, when you go to Etta's restaurant, right, it's in the arcade, it's in the Brixton Village. She has like movie stars, you know, like giving her close embrace love. Like you can tell she's a very lovely lady. So when you get a chance, pop over to Seafood and see the amount of amazing people that share her love and her energy. But please continue.
Yeah. So the magazine came in. Right. Oh, your food is amazing. I'm thinking, whoa. And then all different people came in. Idris came in. Oh, loads of people came in. Listen.
How many women chasing in that day?
Well, I don't know because I didn't have time. I was cooking. So it was just like an adventure, and I don't know what it is, but it's like very spiritual. And they just sit and they don't want to leave. And
Right.
I'm thinking,
I'm one of them. I was one of them. Just
oh
yesterday.
my God, I am so blessed. It's just unreal.
Amazing.
I don't know how it happens, because I'm like the only person in the kitchen, and I'm doing everything. I am doing everything, and everybody's so patient with me, and it's just loads of love. I don't know what to say.
Amazing.
I am very, very lucky.
You are very blessed. Having been, to see you and seeing the environment, I understand it. Again, I mentioned it felt like home. And, these days, especially getting further and further away from, places that feel like home because, things have changed so much. Everything is way more commercialized and, it's changed a lot of direction. So, with that being said, how do you see the future of black culture in Brixton and black business in Brixton for people like yourselves? And, what would you want to say about that next step and what would you want it to look like for yourself?
Well, for myself, I like to stay really close to home. I don't want to go outside and lose control of what I do because I love what I do. This is my calling. So it's like I prepare myself, this is what I do. This is what I love. Everything in my restaurant is so semi-cooked to order. There's nothing cooking there apart from your rice and peas and whatever. But everything is cooked to order and it's just basically patience.
Right.
And everybody, and I always tell them, how long is the macaroni queue that you can't make food?
True. So you end up waiting for food regardless, right?
I'm telling you.
Right. Okay, cool. So last question, if you don't mind, because I would love to keep you all night because you make me laugh so much. But please tell everyone, in your eyes, how would you like Brixton's black community to preserve itself and still play a part in the new changes and still be relevant to what Brixton is about? Because although things are changing, Brixton for me will always be the home of black culture UK-wise. So what would you see as a necessary addition to make sure that we maintain that status for black people in Brixton? Okay, there's an archive where I did a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and what we don't do is support each other. There are archives there, we don't go and see what's going on. Right. You're talking about the Black Culture Archives right on the strip, right? Yes. Right. We need to sort of pay more attention to what we have. Right. Because we really don't, because black people tend to think, oh no, they're not good enough. It's like they're coming to the restaurant, oh, this is really posh. No, it's not posh. We deserve good things. Right. And what we don't do is encourage each other. Right. Do better. Right. We always have something to say. Right. And it's not positive. You come into a restaurant, I'm coming here to support you. No. Right. You don't need a crutch. You come in here and eat my food. Right. Say what you want to say. Yes. If you don't like it, say you don't like it. Yes. But don't stand there going, oh no, it's too posh, I can't come in here. No, we deserve good things. Right. I don't see why we can't embrace each other. Right. Do you know what I mean? We just need to embrace each other, get real. Right. But that's all we have. And if we don't support each other, the Indians support each other. Right. Regardless. But the black people always seem to have some form of hang up. Right. What is that? Slavery days is over. It had nothing to do with us. Our forefathers worked so we could be a better people. Yeah. Right. And we need to work on being a better people. Right. Because they sacrificed a lot for us. Yes. And then we're going backwards to come forward. Right. And it don't work. It really doesn't work. So guys, whatever, just visit me. Tell them where you are. 85, 86 Granville Arcade, 6th Avenue, and I take cash on you. Need to keep cash alive. Make some noise for Etta, guys. Once we don't have cash, we're good. Right. Okay. Make some noise for Etta, everyone. Thank you so much, Etta. Thank you. Okay, Mike, yours. See ya. Wait there. Let's do it. It's going to be another one. I feel like Brixton has a very storied history. I feel like as a community, we know some of the stories, we have some understandings of it, but I feel like it's such an extensive story. Different people's perspective has to be included to be able to help take that. I remember arriving in Brixton, and one of the first names I heard of was Black and Dread. Like, that was from older people, middle-aged people, younger people, everyone. Like, that was like one of the names you hear in Brixton, and all good things. Like, it felt like he was like a community's superhero. So I want to welcome to the stage Black and Dread. Our main guest for the night, our main speaker for the night. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Listen, you don't see it? Yeah.
Sorry,
Good evening, everyone. Respect our honor, you don't see it? Yeah.
Right.
We'll keep it real, we're not girl. Still, so we speak.
Can you tell you Jamaican?
No.
Right, so first of all, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm really honored to be in your presence today. I feel like, you're literally a living legend, and I feel like I want to help tell a story, but just as a passenger, I want you to be the person that explains to us, your story, the story of your businesses, your journey, the journey of Brixton, and how you see it, and the future. So I want to tap into like what was it like coming from Jamaica to the UK, and what was your earliest memories of being in London? What was that like for you, arriving from Jamaica, coming to London? What was that like for yourself?
Yeah, man. Well, it's a long, how long you have?
We have all night. It's you.
Alright, so I came England when I was about 8.5, going on to 9. Little youth come to England, never know. And my first memory, and when I say this to people, they say, why? Where me come from in Jamaica, we never have no traffic light. So I never see a traffic light in my life. So me come to England now, and my father drive one Aston Cambridge, number plate 229 UR. I always remember this car from the 60s, right? So every time I come to this thing, with this tree light, him stop. So I say, what is for? So I say, it's a traffic light. So when it's a red, it stop. When the orange, you get ready, and green, you go.
Right.
So that was my first really thing when I say, yeah, the England thing, alright. But
right. What year was this? Do you mind me saying?
Yeah, this about 60 years.
Right.
So. A little youth when I come England, I live at a place named Crystal Palace. 59 Palace Road.
Wow.
One lady named Miss Joyce, from black woman who owned the house, and my mother and father rent there. So when me come now, my first job was to every Saturday morning the milkman would have come.
Right.
So my mother tell me, say, Saturday morning, you have to stand up outside the door early and wait for that man with the red van, and when him come, you run, go take the bread from him. So, cause I never know, so when them come with the bread now, them used to put the bread on the ground.
Wow.
Outside.
Wow.
So my mother, she don't want the bread go up on the ground, so she used to do it herself.
Right.
So when me come now, me are the man who pick up the bread before the bread man can put it down on the ground.
Wow.
So them little thing, even some little thing like whenever I have a bath,
right.
So we'd have a little pan.
Right.
And the whole family bathe in this pan.
Right.
So anytime we are going to bathe now, every time we bathe, we hot up the water upon the fire, throw it in the pan, you bathe, dash out the water, wash it out. But the neighbors, them, when them bathe, all four of them bathe in the one water and throw it out. So me, that's so weird. That's so people can't, you never know, say, them thing, me just show you, say, although them say them did civilize and them more than we never do them thing that Jamaica.
Right.
So we got a river, got beard.
Right.
So you have running water all the time. We never have. So when I come to England and say all these things now, I say, no, sir. Then I saw that place I stay. Everybody bathing in the same water. So it means a mommy, daddy, sister, brother, auntie, uncle bathing in one water. No, sir. So we have to know, say, we come here, so and a whole heap of thing we teach.
Right.
That's why you see our culture is the predominant culture in this country.
Right.
No one, them not have no culture.
Right.
England don't have a culture. Anybody can tell me what the English culture is?
Alcohol.
Alcohol, egg and chips and them something. Then you go to the pub on a Friday, you come home from work, you go to the pub, you have a pint of beer, you go home, you watch one thing on the TV, and you go to your bed. And you wake up the next day. We come now, we bring a different level of thing.
Right.
Man, I keep party in our house.
Right.
People now no money, so you pay 50 pence. This week you keep a dance, 50 pence you go in. 100 people come, you get 150 pence.
Right.
You understand? Which are 25 pounds. But look on it this way. If you never did get those 50 pence, you wouldn't have the 25 pounds.
Right.
But 25 pounds is a whole heap of money.
Right.
Back then.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you keep a dance this week, me keep one next week.
Yeah.
So it's like a little partner.
Right.
So all these little things now, we teach one another how to make money. So
Right.
it's a whole heap of cultural things
That we bring to the UK.
we put on the table.
Right.
Cause, you know, some things me didn't want to say. Cause when me I go to school,
I was about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
What was your experience of going to school? Like, what was that like for you, being here and coming from Jamaica, going to school?
Different,
Changing here,
complete different, because we got school in Annalee, a school named Annalee Junior School.
Yeah.
And my two sisters who came, one came before me, one came with me.
Yeah.
They went to a school next door called Rock Hill Girls School.
Right.
Right next to Annalee Town Hall where they build the flats now.
Yeah.
That's where I used to go to school.
Yeah.
And it's a different form of teaching, because when they teach me at my age, I already knew it.
Right, in Jamaica.
Yeah, I already learned that. So when the teacher see me I do it so quick, them used to think, say, he's flashy, I'm sure off hour, but it's just true, you teach me something when we learn already, teach me something new.
Right.
You understand? And we were so, as a country, I say third world, as a country, them say them a first world, but the liberty with them did have was a fifth world, not even third. You understand? So them they really teach with nothing in terms of. Then me leave, I go to a school near Kentwood Boys School in Penge.
Right.
And after going to that school for about a year and a half, 2 years, my parents moved to Tulsa.
Yeah.
Now, when I moved to Tulsa, is when I got to know some black people there in England. I never know. I used to see black people because sometimes I used to come shopping with my mother and the bus come down.
Brixton.
To Brixton, yeah. So you just see people, but when I went to Tulsa school, the school had 1,400 pupils.
Wow.
And about 900 of them black.
Right.
So when you go out and I said, black, there's so much black youth my age then at this place, and I couldn't believe. So it's
what year is this? Around early 70s?
Yeah, early 70s. When we got Tulsa, up, you know, I leave Tulsa school. I leave Kentwood at 13, got to Tulsa at 13.
Yes.
Me running from home when I'm 14.
Right. We'll come to that.
Yeah. so going to school was a joy, because me start meet people of my own, people me can enjoy some little fun thing with. Me meet couple Jamaicans who did have kind of, you know, the people who me meet that part before. Me just there with them because there was nobody else. But now me start meet people in a color scheme.
You felt at home basically.
Yeah, I feel at home in a color scheme because I did some white thing there. I'm not putting a paint palette or nothing. You understand? I'm not sharpening it or letting it. It's what it is.
Right. So you just mentioned that at 14 you went away from home. Do you mind touching on why that might have been, or is something that you haven't told me?
Me did rude.
Let us know what that means.
Me did rude, me did bad, me did naughty. Whatever you want to call it. I didn't, you know, me never want to hear mommy and daddy have to say.
So hold you there. Considering how the perception of black community is that, you know, we're just free and we don't have strictness and we don't have discipline at home. Let the audience know what discipline meant in our community.
No man, this me have to behave myself. My mother used to say to me, say, boy, when you come to the front door, you wipe your foot at the door, you turn around, and when you come in, that person that you come to my door with, you leave him outside. When you come inside, you is Steve Martin, my little son.
Right.
So, come in and get a little bossy and talk back and go on like, me get big.
Right.
You understand? Even though I'm a little bit, you know, me face the back. You understand? So one little day now, me have a little friend who, him come from country and him there Tulsi in a little home.
Right.
And him a go back a country. Cause it's like a home, you know?
Right, country as in like Birmingham or...
I think somewhere like Walsall or something like that.
Near Birmingham.
Yeah.
Right.
What happened is that him is a home where them put children in when them naughty in them area.
Yeah.
So them a let him go home now, cause when you're 16 them let you out.
Right.
So them a keep a going away party. So them invite me to this party. I don't really know about this party thing yet, cause me a little youth and of course and uncle them used to keep some little thing upstairs, but
right.
not to go out for a party.
Right.
So my parents let me out, so maybe I'm the first real go out this now.
Right.
And why?
It's never been the same since.
Yeah, one little thing happened. The man have one thing named cocktail. So at home now, cocktail to me at home is on a Sunday. My mom used to buy fruit cocktail in the tin, open it up, throw it in a one couple tin in a one something, yes. And mix it up with milk and thing like that, and it's sweet. And I have it on Sunday. So when we go this place now, we see the same bowl with the same fruits and whole heap of things, and me check say no, and the same cocktail. I never drank before, so I drink this thing and it's sweet. I mean, so what that thing is nice, see? So I drink this thing, I drink it. When me realize, the next thing me realize now, upon one table, me there asleep. I'm drunk out of my mind. And the people them carry me home.
Right.
So my father was a drinker.
Right.
So my father now, when him see me come home drunk, you know the next thing.
Right.
Chair broke up, plate broke up, all kind of thing broke up. The beat when my father give me that day there. I couldn't take no more when him beat me and him beat me. And I couldn't take no more like now, I see the back door.
Yeah.
So I just say, I'm going to pop and go through the back door. And I just leave through the back door. And when I go say, yeah, thanks, because you may run water, you know. When you talk the truth, you know. So I'm going to say, boom and bowl through the back door. And we have some fence.
Right.
I'm going to tell you this now, and up till this day, I can't work out. If I went over, under, through, I don't know how I get over that fence. And I run and I go to my cousin's house and I drop down outside of my cousin's house. And him come outside and him say, "We are out here." I say, "Boy, daddy beat me, I can't take no more." He say, "You better go home because you must think I'll kill you, but I can kill you." So when him tell me to go home now, me start walk the opposite way.
Right.
So till me walk, me spend the whole night, I walk up and down, I know where to go.
Right. What area is this now? What area is
Me
this?
still there Tulsi.
Right, Tulsi, yeah.
Me still there Tulsi, so me sleeping at the flats, me sleep all about the night
Right.
there. And I think about me they cross the road and look from my front door.
Right.
I'm afraid to go. Even though my father gone to work,
Yeah.
I'm afraid because me I say, boy, suppose him never gone and him in there wait for me.
Right.
Because me never know. So me never go in there, me try everything, me see my mother come out, me see my sister them come out, but I'm afraid.
Right.
And me I said the next night, me start go down to Brockwell Park,
Right.
sleeping at the park, in the little hut,
Yeah.
all kind of thing. Me have one set of clothes, me not have
Yeah.
nothing.
Right.
And just me as a little youth on the road. So now, my little thing get mashed up because we used to, right on the corner, that's by the police station,
Yeah.
them have a Gresham Road there.
Yeah, no,
so when we were youths, them have a place called Number One,
Right.
which is Number One Gresham Road. Them have pool tables, and this is where our little community, our age group used to go and meet.
Right.
So I go number 1 Gresham Road now. By this time now, I'm still up on the road, you know.
Yeah.
But me get streetwise now and me I make me 2 little pens and things like that.
1 second. I saw in your documentary, right? Being Blacker, legendary. I loved it. I was so proud when I saw that because I know what it meant for people like me, people like yourself from your generation, even like myself. But you had a term in it. You said you call it ghettoology. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, ghettoology is knowing where you come from, knowing where you are, and the circumstances in that you find yourself, and you have to learn the streets, because if you don't learn the streets will eat you.
Right.
That's why you see enough people walk home with them head and a shake and a eat out a dustbin, because when the ghetto take them, the allergy hold them.
Right.
You understand? So you get rough, so you have to get fit for the struggle, you understand? Yeah. So I dip on the road now, I do my thing and I get through. So I leave Gresham Road and take a number 2 bus going towards Tulsill. So by them time that the bus used to go around to Wilshire Road and come back around and start from Brixton Police Station. And the left hand there, that's where the number 2 bus used to start from.
Right.
So I get on a bus and it moved from there. And this time H&M, we didn't know, used to be called Woolworths.
Right.
So Woolworths was there. Outside Woolworths now, I see a little commotion I go on, so I look over, but I dip on the bus and I cool. I get off about the next 3 stop.
Right.
So then I see 2 police come on the bus and tell me to get up. So I get up. Them say come off of the bus. So I come off of the bus because I know I don't do nothing, so I never not think about it.
Right.
Him say one woman accused me of thief in her purse.
Wow.
So I say, purse? When? Where? Oh. Them say, at this bus stop. I say, no, but I was on the bus from the other bus stop, so it can't be me.
Yeah.
Them say, yes, the woman says me, so them take me and carry me to the station.
Wow.
And charge me with pickpocket.
Wow. That was your first one in with the police?
First ever.
Right.
I never talked to a policeman before.
Right.
So I never even know how to deal with them.
Right.
Them know how to deal with me. So them call it stitch up.
Right.
Yeah, so they must stitch me up now.
And that was something that was prevalent in those days.
Yeah.
So just pick up random people and make a decision on that.
Yeah. But by this time now, the woman now, to our good better judgment, the woman tell the policeman say it wasn't me.
Right.
But me have a little beanie spliff tail. Because them time they will never have no money, so you have to keep the little butt them. So me have a little beanie spliff tail in my pocket. And the boy find it start. I know so them charge me for it.
Wow.
You couldn't even see it a little bit so. And them charge me. So I go court now. But because I don't live nowhere, I don't have no parents, well, I try. Them find out who my parents is, so they must send for my father. My father say him not come.
Right.
Because I think me a big man, and if me a big man, I must deal with it like a big man.
Right.
So me didn't know, and the man said, when them did it, and one woman recommend to the judge say, me forget the 3 S's.
What's the 3 S's?
And that me I say, same thing me I say, me never hear about this 3S yet. So, me start thinking, me I say, what this could be? Them used to have a thing named birching.
Right.
But them used to birch you when you unroll it, them put you on a something and beat you 3 times with one big fat strap.
Is this the police or the schools?
No, the court to the order, you forget birch. So you get 1 tree birch.
Wow.
So me did the thing, so me steal up myself and take them 3 lick you know. When me go down see the man, so take out the thing, them out that thing and give me everything and this and that and that and then them throw me in a van.
Wow.
So me I say, then I so far me have to go get this beat man. Me never know what I go on. So when me reach now, the man said, me ask the man, so what am I doing here? He say, you get the 3 S's, you don't know what that is? He said, no, he said, the short, sharp, shock.
Wow.
Which is 3 months detention center.
Wow.
I never know that, so I go up jail for 3 months and they even know say I jail me gone.
Wow.
You know, in one place named Blantyre House in a Kent, on a hilltop, and this is December, right?
Yeah.
In the winter.
Of what year, do you remember?
This would have probably be about 70, you know.
Right.
71. Run of them, 71, 72. Run of them time, they're young.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do 2 years, 8 months, but mash up my knee.
Yeah.
Well, me did I do gymnastics.
Right.
Crush up my knee.
Was this a place where it's young people only? Young men?
Only young people.
Right.
But there was a whole heap of black youth there.
Right.
In this far place that about 3 hours I forgot.
Right.
In some mountain top, when you look over, you can see France on a good day. Yeah.
So you're saying institutional racism and police have gone back that far to the early 70s?
No, man, we never call it never institutional.
Right.
It was blatant racism. Institutional means them hide it.
Right, true.
Blatant. Them you're black and you're a black wagger, go back to where you come from, your gully wag.
Right.
And them used to have a little jam jar with a little black figure upon it, Robinson's jam, with a little figure, and them call it the gully wag. So you use a gully wag. And then you have the black and white minstrels on TV again. So are you that again when white people are cussing that? Are you that? So it's simple.
Was abuse a publicly, like, you know, something that you just got on with when you hear it?
No, man, abuse, man, no, but we're different, you know. It's a different, because it's a woman, you know. I still think me that tell her. She a woman,
right.
so she got deal with it on fair level.
Right.
But now if you got deal with me, someone may go rebel, don't
Right.
So when I take no time, no boy can't disrespect her and get already time. Them things there. So and by this time now we are part with the whole heap of ways. So we have a portion and you have Brixton Frontline and you have Brixton Rebels and you understand? This is long before even Raiders pass. We have the big man named the Rebels. You have a set of man called the Untouchables. All them kind of people are used to there in Brixton. So although we never have no role model, when the Untouchables come out in a box, and the Untouchables come out in a 12 or 15 of them say come out. A 15 white suit. 15 man in a white suit, and you see 15 man stand up in a white suit and you say, so when we grow up, so me want to look. Because them look, them have them nice afro and them broke 300 pounds for your broke shoes and suit, Russell and Bramley and all them things. Man a dress, because man a got a West End. Most man used to go a West End, got a club, Carnaby Street. Because the sound of me end up a place, Sir Coxon used to play in Carnaby Street like 7 nights a week.
Before you fast forward, so after you came out, what was this journey then? Is that when you made your way into the industry?
When me come out now, me come out with a Brookfoot and a walking stick. And them give me £7 something and a train ticket. So and me end up at Brixton now with my walking stick. I walk come up. And a friend of mine who me know said to me, say, Coxon, I play up the road later, which is on Railton Road, the front line. So me go sit down on the ground, or me buy a food and sit down from about 5 o'clock till about 9, 10 o'clock when the sound reach.
Before you continue the story, do you mind educating the audience in case some of them don't understand the magnitude of what Coxon Sound was, is, and forever will be?
So Coxon Sound at the time, #1 sound in England, play reggae music, promote black music, soul, reggae, anything used to play in the city when people never used to be able to go to the city. Coxon used to play in the city in 2 different clubs, 7 nights here, 7 nights there. And then we were on the road. We were the road team. That we would have got Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, Nottingham. Anywhere in England, people want reggae. We're gonna go play.
So continue the story, please.
So we know we used to say, we are the advertisers. We are the people now that anything happening in Africa, we gotta dance and we talk about it. And we tell the people because we never have the news. Our news was suppressed. So our job was to go around. If a thing happen in Jamaica, we tell the people them say this happen in Jamaica, this happen in Africa, something happen in Brixton. Manchester people don't know, you know. Birmingham people don't know because the news never. So we were the people that went around.
So you were basically activists as well?
Long time. If I start being an activist, Mr. Man join African National Congress.
I know, I touch on that. So
yeah, man, me a rebel because I grew up on the street like me say, so me did rebellious for my own self, so me I gotta be rebellious for my people cause as well. So I just saw with the things. And no man, me alright man, I just Me eye just run water because my bad eyes still, you know.
Okay, no worries. Just hold on to this though, hold on to that.
Yeah, me alright with this.
Alright, okay, go.
I'm not giving him no advertising. No free advertising. Like a general promote the thing. So me now, we got this Coxsum dance tonight and we did a whole night until the morning. So them say tomorrow night same place. So me just keep in the area in the community until the next night. Go back at the dance again the next night. Then Coxsum was played in Brixton at the church in the middle of the road. Used to be called the Crib. It's called St. Matthew's Church, but we used to play down there on a Wednesday.
Wow.
So we start and then you have a song.
What year is this now?
It's still in like 74, 73, 74 going up.
Right.
You have some song in the area named Neville King, Neville the Musical Enchanter, Cold Tom, Wappy King, Ital King, D. Rasco, whole heap of sound. So every night a party I go on in the area.
Yeah.
So for a man like me where you don't live nowhere and have nothing to do, party.
Right.
I just go dance every night and that keep me warm.
Right.
Meet people and all kind of thing.
Community,
cause I saw the thing that we never have nothing like we say what people call role model now.
Right.
The street man them was a role model cause if you see Sydney Portier on the TV or somebody like that, which other black man you see on your TV? Or Rebella Fante or somebody, you're not seeing a black people. So you don't even know so we exist in any other form apart from where the history book them I tell we are where real people call people to research and know what go on.
Right.
So from them time they know me start go and know what go on.
So what was the landscape of Brixton at that time for black people? Was it like, people thriving, like what people have job opportunities, or what was it like? Was it like people were kind of hopeless? What was the situation at the time?
I mean the big people them like my father and mother them would go drive bus or do some cleaning. My mother used to do like 4 cleaning job.
Right.
So me remember from the age of 11 and 12, me used to go out with my mother from 7 o'clock in the night. And we used to go to Norwood and she would have clean up a workshop at Norwood. Then we'd have leave and we'd have go down a bank and she have about 7 different banks.
Right.
Different floors, so she have a whole floor by herself.
Yeah.
And me and my sister them used to go help her clean so she could have come home and get some sleep because by 5 o'clock in the morning she up again.
Right.
Gone to her day job.
Right.
So we learned from early say you can't go in a bank this, you can't trouble nothing, so you can't be a rude boy.
Right.
You have to do what mommy say, clean up the place, because anything you do going to affect mommy.
Right.
So in them time they have some boy named Skinhead.
Yeah.
And you have some boy named the Mads and things like that to ride them bike in them suit and them whole heap of chain and them thing there. If them boy they hold your dog near your supper.
Translation is going to be a long night.
No, because even I remember walking up Tulsil one night and about 7 of us was walking up Tulsil and we hear pop pop. This is in the 70s,
Right.
Them thing that people don't know, pop pop. So we saw what that. So one car go up the road and come back down and hear pop pop again. So man them must say a gunshot that
Wow.
So we saw what? So run go hide behind the thing, the man them go around and come back again and lick it and realize that some white boy in a car and shoot after way.
Wow.
So I run, we have to run through the estate. So no man not tell me about this and that and that. I will go through it, we see the whole rigmarole and how them used to deal with people. So no opportunity never did it for youth.
Right.
And unless you got to sweep the street or something like that. No big job like how Mr. Black man up on TV every minute now. And we used to call it like a nominal. Let us put you on the just to say equality or this or that or the other.
Affirmative action.
Yeah, So it's like it's just a token black.
Right.
Them put in a token place so them can say. Them put man on TV like Alistair Burnett and them man. Them put him on TV, McDonald and all them man. To make them man look. So when we look on them man there, we don't see a role model.
Right.
We see a coconut. You understand? And that we see. So when them try role model way out to him,
Right.
him end up to be for them role model.
Right.
Because them start try look like him and do what him do because he was so immaculate at what he did, but that's not what we the youngers wanted.
Right.
Because it's a generational thing, you know.
Right.
Because what my mother and father want is not what me did want.
Right.
And what me did want is not what my children want.
Right.
And their children are going to be different.
Right.
Because now children are grow up as computer age children.
Right.
You understand? We grew up, everything was you had to do physical.
Right.
So even from an early age, like we're going up in the 70s now and we they reach like 1980, we meet a man named Mel.
Right.
Mel Melbourne, which is a South African brethren. Him come out and Coxon dance and some man try rob him.
Right.
So me did I play the song and I see what I go on and I call him and say come up here.
Right.
So is him and a white brother.
Yes.
The brother named Tom.
Right.
And up till this day, from the 70s till now, me and Tom and Mel are like this.
Wow.
Because they going to rob the brother and I said, no man, I just hold the mic the night and said, no man can rob no man in here. So any man rob anybody get beat.
Yeah.
Because remember, you know, a man pay come to your dance and him get robbed. That not look good for your sound.
Right.
And it not look good for your community. So we have to protect the people that will come to support we.
Right.
So that brother now, Tom, actually is a professor.
Right.
Right? And he got Zimbabwe 40 years ago. And him see the people are dead on the roadside. And that man has dedicated his whole life to try and find a cure for malaria.
Wow.
That man there now, Tom. His name is Tom Fullermore.
Wow.
A great white man that called the man spent him life I try to find a cure. Three people are dead at Zimbabwe.
Wow.
So anyway, Mel now is a South African who was friends with Nelson Mandela before Mandela got prison and things like that.
So that's how you built it.
That's how I became a member of the ANC because when this brother tell me about the ANC, I was like, wow.
Right.
This no one do fight, you know. So because I had the song, we could have keep dance, we could have get money, and we could have donate money to the ANC under the choir. So where we used to do, I donate money to the military wing.
Right.
Because me done hear some speech and the man them say, if a man have a gun and you go to talk to him and you not have a gun, him better than you.
Right.
Because if him say move boy and go say, you're dead.
Right.
But if you go there with a bigger gun than him, him not gonna listen to you, right?
Right.
So this is the thing where make me start doing. So we play enough dance.
Right.
We did Notting Hill Carnival for like 17 years.
Pause right there, sorry to cut you. What was your first experience of Notting Hill Carnival playing with, your community and bringing that and pushing that culture forward? What was that like?
Well, the first Notting Hill Carnival that I remember before it was called Notting Hill Carnival, 1976, Coxon played over there and there was thousands and thousands of people.
Right.
And then it became that Notting Hill Carnival thing after. But when we were working for the ANC, you'd have a man named Bill Morris, who his name is Sir Bill Morris, who was the leader of the Transport and General Workers Union.
Right.
So he get a big job in England.
Right.
And Bill Morris, for 17 years, that man gave us a truck on a Monday and a truck on a Tuesday with 2 drivers to go through the carnival with the ANC banner and promoting African unity and black unity and black culture, black awareness.
Amazing.
So Bill Morris would have, put up my hand to that man there, straight, because that man there doing work, him get a job and him never forget him community. And so we do that and we do all of them things that way in the community. So by this time now, I make a little name for myself and I play the sound system.
This is the early 80s now?
Yeah, so we're in the early 80s, so my name I get bigger, so me can do things we used to do, like with the same brother Mel Melbourne. He used to run the recreation center.
Right.
So we used to be able to get the recreation center to do things.
Which was very new at that time, right?
Just made, yeah. So we could have gone in there and keep dance, and him used to run now with library as well.
Right.
So we used to have every Thursday we used to have youth night, where what we do now, we string up the big Coxon song and we invite all the youngers to come play see, you know, get them a whole heap of little superstar come out. The people like Tenor Fly, Fathead, a lot of little youths who come in at the era become stars after a while by coming to that Thursday night. So and all of that was funded by Mel because the man they have them awareness, them black awareness at all times. So at any point where the man they can get things done, them get it done. So that man is the man who end up bring Nelson Mandela to Brixton.
Right, we'll come to that. Hold on. But we gotta let them know in stages. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So by the 80s, you know, you had developed a strong name, strong reputation as someone that was not only in entertainment, but you know, an activist, someone that was representative of black culture in the UK, especially in London, right? But from my research, I heard that you moved into producing as well. Tell us a little bit about your producing journey.
Yeah, so 1983 now, Sugar Minott came to England and he was touring. After him touring, he stayed back.
Sugar Minott was a major reggae singer.
Yeah, big reggae singer.
Yes.
So he stayed back with his band, and his band was there's a movie called Rockers. And you have a man starring named Leroy Wallace. He's a drummer, a very famous drummer in Jamaica.
Yes,
so he stayed back, and Sugar Minott said to me, I like how you play sound, you could do producing, because I see you have the crowd, because we used to control crowd. And I like now when the crowd control the DJ. Back then the DJ control the crowd. Nowadays the people decide who them want to listen to. Back in our day when we play a tune for you, we soak tune in you and promote the music to a level. So Sugar said to me, you can do this thing, so how do you do it? So Sugar taught me how to produce. Sugar Minott. So he's my music mentor in terms of learning to produce, because he was the first man that said to me I could do this, because I never ever thought of doing anything like that. So that is a man that when I see as my
your music partner.
Other man there, everything when we know in our music, him teach me.
Who else did you work with later on, like producing?
Oh gosh, I work with everybody. I work with Dennis Brown, I work with Gregory Isaacs. We can do some name dropping.
Yeah, of course, go for it. All the names.
We never actually work with him, but we didn't know Bob.
Of course.
Yeah, we used to go up to Bob Hotel and sit down with him and bun some weed and them things from back in the day.
In London, right?
Yeah, in London. And Bob used to stay at Kensington, #1 Kensington Place. And we used to go up there, and the whole we had Paul McCartney, all them man, they used to come check Bob. And we was the little man them round there. Of course. You want something a shop boss, and we run go get the thing a shop for them. So we go through with Dennis Brown, with Frankie Paul, any Bojo Banton, Sizzler, Capleton, anybody who, I don't even know Barry Salmon, I don't know who I work with.
Let them know.
Yeah, no, they know we're not really hype ourselves, but we've been there, done it, and we didn't even bother wearing a t-shirt.
So I feel like for a lot of people, I'm not sure how many people that know those parts of your story, but I feel like for maybe my generation, their first encounter with you would have been through your record shop in Brixton, right? Like that was like a legendary place for our generation, my generation, where if you wanted to find out music, just find life, really, just find culture, find anything, maybe find a family member you ain't finding in a minute. Come there, you go to the record shop, and you're gonna run into everything that you need to know. But before that, like, what inspired you to make that step to open a store, open a company, and basically open a community hub? What was your thought process at that time?
What happened was, alright, so I've started to make this music now. So I've gone to Jamaica and I've recorded a song with Frankie Paul named Fire There, Most Steel, him think a cool breeze, yeah? So we played on the sound and it a mash up England. Everywhere we go in England, we just mash up everywhere. So the people might demand this song now. So some man tell me how to get the record, press it and put it out. So
what year is this?
This is 1984 going into 85. So now, because my first production was December 83, so I go right over to 84. So in the 84 now we record Frankie going into 85. So what happening is that when I go to sell it to a man tell me, say, man, give me 90 pence one.
Right.
But me spend about 45, 50 pence to get it.
Right.
And when I talk about transport and all this, so me I do the maths. Me I make about 18 pence off a record.
Right.
So me I say, this don't make sense. So, but me still I do it, and me say nothing now go on, me release whole heap of songs now, and thing, and nothing now go on. So me I say, you know what, I have to go try sell them record myself.
Right.
Because, so me have a song when me do it a youth named Juscoolradio.
Right.
Name Walk and Skank.
Right.
Walk and Skank, and me say walk and skank, hey. Walk and Skank, and me say walk. But most people, you know, it start like this. Wada-da-dang, dang, wada-dang, wada-da-dang, dang. Yeah? So, that song, some youth named Slickmat and Lime, two white youths, they told me a story. They said there was a home, they made this beat, and they were looking for something.
Right.
To bring it off.
Right.
And they said they went to their friends, went through their records. When I actually done those records, I didn't know how to do it properly.
Right.
So I press them and I get a man to make a machine where you can cut out the middle to make it look like it come from Jamaica.
Oh wow.
I want people to think it come from Jamaica. So these guys must have bought one somewhere, and so them hear it, and them, so when them hear it, they heard, oh my gosh, this is it.
Right.
So they made a song called Anna Raga Tip.
Right.
That went to number 3 in the British charts.
Wow.
In the actual British chart, not the reggae chart.
Right.
So I got £15,000.
Wow.
Me never see money like that. £15,000. I said to the man, I wanted cash. The man said, no, we can't do cash. So the man give me a check and said, so when we doing this? He said, put it in the bank. I said, bank? We don't have no bank account. We're not going to get bank for putting this in, you know. And idiot things and throw it down and walk out of the room and say, I want my money in a cash.
Right.
So then we call my friend Dennis, and I said, Dennis, some man just give me £15,000. And the man I say, give me a check. He said, take it blacks, man. Yeah. You have a bank account, man. So I said to the man, say, put it in a Dennis right name.
Right.
So we get the check, and this meeting was in Wandsworth.
Right.
So I was driving from Wandsworth back to Brixton now, and I drove down Cowlarbor Lane.
Right.
And there was a shop right there. The shop just did it, so nobody never in it.
Right.
And I stopped the car in reverse and I said, Digo, you know, so I want to open a record shop. He said, yeah man, Digo, we can't have £15,000. We have to go open a shop. What we have to do with this money?
Right,
We're going to buy a car and go Mackle and done it. So better we just do something sensible with it. So I said, boy, alright, black, so we're going on the place. And I said to the man, I want this shop here. And he said, well, you have to come with this and all kind of different paperwork.
Yeah.
So I don't know nothing. I have no idea. But him say I want £1,250 deposit. So I have the money there in my yard.
Right.
So I go in my yard now and get the money and bring it back to him. And the man said, no, I don't want this. You can't give it to me like this. I think you gotta just give the man the money.
Right.
Him sign a paper and you just get the key. And the man said, no, you have to do this thing properly. So I have to get in advice, me get some advice, and forget it. Me end up I get the shop anyway.
Right.
And
what year is this?
This is 1993.
Right. Same
time as Anna Raga Tip in the British chart.
Right.
So it was coming down to the end of the year.
Right.
So when we get the shop now, we get the shop about the 30th of November.
Right.
And we start looking at it, thinking, what we are going to do. And me I said, Digo, Christmas are coming now, what we are going to do? Me I said, here what we want to do? We want to fix up the shop. Me I go to America. I go look some soul record and wherever me can get over there. I go fly from America. I send them back. Fly from America, go to Jamaica, buy some record and come back. Cause we plan for open on the 14th of December.
Right.
So me need to reach America, buy a record. I never quick like today. So you know, like a flight to America them time there at 9.5 hours.
Yes.
And by the time you get there, and so that's what I did. I went to America, buy a whole heap of record and things, send them back, go to Jamaica, buy a whole heap of record and come back. So when I came back, they had designed the shop because I left a empty shed.
Right.
So when I came back, there was a counter and whatever. So I came back with new records, and which I thought was new records, but the man then tricked me at Jamaica and sell me some whole records. Well, I never know. But I think said anything could have did sell at the time.
Right.
So Anyway, we opened the shop on the 14th of December, 1993.
So sorry to stop you there. What's the landscape in Brixton at that time? Like, were there a lot of black businesses? Were there any other record shops? Like, what was the landscape of Brixton during that period?
Okay, there was one record shop. Because when I was growing up, there was quite a few.
Right.
There was like Desmond City. There was like, I think, at least 6 record shops in Brixton.
Right.
Because even I used to do a little work in a record shop right at the beginning of the market there, where I think it's now a vegetarian shop.
Right.
At the beginning of the market, that used to be a record shop.
Right.
And then on Colaba Lane, just a little bit past the pub, there was another record shop that I worked in.
Right.
That was from the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
So there was businesses, but when I opened the shop, there wasn't none. The only Supertone was left.
Right.
And I actually went to Supertone and said, look, Mr. Wally, I really want to open a record shop in Brixton. So he said, yeah man, you deserve it.
Right.
You fight for Brixton, you go through the riot, you go through everything. If you want to open a shop, nobody can stop you.
Sorry to pause you. We skipped past on one big part of that chapter there, the riots. Hold on. Sorry, we have to rewind a little bit.
That'll take a year.
Right.
No.
What was life like? What was life like to make people? We know some of the stories, but I want to hear from your point of view. What was life like at the time in 1981 to drive people to one riot and two, do it in such a way that it stopped Britain, basically? What was the lifestyle at that time?
We're gonna make it straight now, because enough people talk things and enough people never really. But me know the facts of the riot.
Right.
The facts of the Brixton riot not start like it was nothing. Where everybody said. The riot started when a brother named Duncan Robinson, right, stabbed Michael Bailey and Colaba Lane in Stasis. Stasis, they used to have a pool place. But we used to go play pool and pinball machine and Space Invaders. That's how long ago it was. Space Invaders was the biggest thing.
It was new at the time.
Yeah. What do you mean, man line up, all 10 man line up and wait for players, then they shoot up them little man from up in the sky and then just near me up and them thing there. So Michael Bailey and Duncan them a play pool and something go wrong and the 2-man fight, but Duncan was a bad boy, a little Jamaican bad boy with love him knife. And him always have him ratchet, so as you say something to Duncan, and when him flash that to the man, give all a telephone, hand side back on the next side before you can say James Brown. You understand? Dangerous boy. So Michael gets stabbed, and him run go outside on Vining Street and him drop a Vining Street and him a bleed. So we send a man for a taxi car. We say, alright, we'll get him at the hospital. Same time a police car come round the corner and stop and see him bleeding. So the policeman come now and we say to the police, him get stabbed and thing like that, carry him to the hospital. Right. So the police have said, nah, carry him to the hospital. So you see me, nah, carry him to the hospital. You have police, you have siren on your car. The hospital at, remember Colaba Lane, you get to King's College Hospital off of Colaba Lane. Police, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, you have police. You don't stop at traffic like me and you.
True.
So that's all the part of our mind. We not think about the logistics. Oh, it's illegal for a policeman. So we said to him, say, if your friend gets stabbed, what you do? Make him sit down here so and dead. And him say, boy, it's like him couldn't answer. So man say, yo, go for your taxi. So a man go for your taxi and we lift up Michael and them a try to stop with. So obviously from 10 it built up to 15 to 20 to 25 to 30 people out there. So 3 little police around there. You can't manage it. You have to listen to how we run things now. You can't tell we not carry him to the hospital. So we carry him to the cab man. For carry him to the hospital, so the police are trying to hold it. Some man just box, 2 box and 2 kick and them thing there and just beat up them box cover war around there. You know see it and car turn over and car get burned up and by the time the rest of police them come now to come try to save them friend now. Them the crowd build up now. Remember it's Railton Road, you know? So front line the right there, so some man up the road here say things are going. Hey, everybody coming down the road. Man around the corner here say things are going. Stockwell man. Everywhere man are here. Say things are going at Brixton, so people are come from all about. So the police them come heavy handed. It couldn't work, them have to retreat. Cause remember me here them have to retreat.
Right.
So true, we get the little victory over them now. I say, yeah, them boy if you move, them can't. So the line nice today, the front line boss everybody. We just beat out the police there. So the boy them not go get reinforcements man and come back man and come at we.
Right.
And when them come at we man, them never know what gonna hit them.
Right.
So them have a little conversation I go on with the police.
Right.
Some community leaders, because we are not a leader, we are the rebel.
Right.
We are the youth them on the road, they want to perpetrate any action for go on.
Right.
We ready to take the action, because the big man them not going to do it.
Right.
We are the youngers have to do it.
Right.
So them down there argue and things like that, and them are down there argue with the police, and me I say, yo, how them down there argue with the police? Same time, them arrest a little Rasta man down the road and hold him by him locks.
Wow.
And I draw him down the road and I can't go in the van.
Right.
So some man I say, them a kill one of your friend them down there.
Wow.
So when we run go down there now, we see says a Rasta we know name Malachi.
Right.
And then by the time we reach now, them get Malachi in the van and carry Malachi gas station. So we have say, no man, we have to go for Malachi down at the station.
Brixton.
Yeah.
Right.
So the police them argue and some man stand up in the road and me have like toe brick in me and my friend them have beer brick and we are saying 3 police, 4 police over there, so 100 away on the attack. Man start fling brick and police it start get bus and all kind of thing in the sea. And we say we have got towards the station.
Right.
So we have got towards Brixton police station now because we have got for the youth
Right.
to take him out of the station around and you can put man in a station. And we have said, so when we go towards the police station, we see the police and one next Rasta, 2 Rasta and the police.
Yeah.
And the Rasta hold up him and say, everything alright, everything alright. Them let him go because them sister them out number.
Right.
But we really them at time them a buy.
Right.
Because them are calling them bridging from North London and East London.
Right.
And I build up them arsenal to come attack with. But by this time now, remember we never have no mobile phone yet, you know.
True.
So man does a word them out.
Right.
And man I hear say, this a go on, man a house phone. Boy, this a go on. So man a come from North London, South London, East London, West London. So Brixton get full,
Right.
populated
Right.
people.
Right.
So the police them decide to make a rush and which was fatal to them.
Right.
Because when they make the rush now, by them time I know we have Summer Leighton.
Right.
Because Summer Leighton was like a stronghold.
Right.
Summer Leighton was the place where Margaret Thatcher, the Prime Minister, go up on TV and she said, there's no-go area in England. Big speech that she make in her House of Parliament.
Right.
There's no-go area in a Brixton.
Right.
We don't know about no-go area. But we know say, you see up here so, we no can't come up here so. If we no come up here so, we no... Yeah,
people
whatever.
can't
Yeah, different actions that go on.
Right.
So by this time now you have a little petrol station right Pankola Valley and this up.
Yeah.
So the man them take the petrol station.
Right.
And you know you have them big chute there where people in the flats throw them rubbish and they come in at the big silver dustbin.
Yeah.
So the man them push about 4 big silver dustbin, take over the gas station and start empty
Right.
the gas in at the thing now and start push it, go back the road and some Irish youth about the place where used to live at Ferndale Road and them places and come around and I said, no man, do not do this thing wrong.
Right.
Well, teach you know if you do this thing, we do this on Northern Ireland every day.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
So boy, them come now and start teaching you how to make something named Molotov cocktail.
Wow.
Yeah, you understand? So them youth they come teach you how to make them thing there.
Right.
So we the on top of the building and the police
How
them there.
many people do you reckon know that's how you guys learn how to do that? Not many, right?
No, because we didn't try it, but every time we show it, it goes up. Nothing now go on.
Right.
So the man they want to show you how to do it now. So what we do now, we just push down the tank with the petrol, make the petrol run down the road by itself.
Right.
And it, remember it's water, you know, so it go everywhere it go.
Yeah.
So when we dip on the building now, when you drop all 6 cocktail and then go so boom, you just see it go so boom, 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 boom. And one big fire just come up, so whoop and start. So the police them will come up and fire that. Burn up whole heap of them never talk about them thing there. That's why the police uniform get changed.
Right.
After that, them change the police uniform, so them uniform fireproof.
Hold on. To make it clear, yeah, you wasn't personally doing this stuff, but you saw it, you were there, but you just saw it.
Man, right gone a long time and we involved in everything. You think we're hiding from nobody.
Alright. So
me do a documentary named The Battle of Brixton, yeah?
Right, yeah.
And it's up on YouTube, it named The Battle of Brixton 1, 2, 3 and 4. So me do, it's a proper BBC documentary, and them did give me one letter where say immunity from prosecution.
Right.
Because what happened is,
We gotta protect you, you know?
what happened is when the man them, because them have some whole heap of, we don't know these things, you know. The man them take some whole heap of picture from up in the sky.
Right.
And them thing there.
Right.
So when the journalists come to me now, they must show me some picture. And I say, you know these people? And me I say, no. But me I see my next brethren. And I said, no, we don't know them. So me go so boom and call my brethren Batman and say, Batman, we got in jail. Because the boy them have beer picture we do it. And thing, but the man them say immunity from prosecution.
Right.
So we go do the documentary.
Right.
We do it and it come out and show up on BBC and them something and nothing I'm with it. So
Right.
yeah, so all them time you know when we do these things,
Yeah.
remember you know, when the people them say we did a riot, you know,
Right.
the rioting ain't not going, you know.
Right.
Right now it became we versus the police.
Right.
Car stop and search,
Right.
sus,
Right.
everything was going on.
Right.
And we was the young generation, you.
Right.
So our parents and the generation above never got through them things there.
Right.
So even when me tell my mother or my father them are the big people about these things,
Right.
they must say, well, if you behave on yourself.
Right.
But you can be walking up the road and a policeman just pluck you.
Right.
And he might put something on you.
Right.
You do something, you thief something, you pick up something.
Right.
So them have to make numbers count.
Right.
So if they're not bringing XYZ amount of people for the week, them not do them job.
Right.
So we was a sitting duck.
Right.
So now it's about time now we have an opportunity now to defend the corner.
Right.
And lick down 2 police then if I saw it go. Broke 2 foot and broke 2 and like how my brother them and get broke and 2 foot get broke around the by uno.
Right.
So our
Question. You said the police had to change their uniform. Why was that?
because them uniform burn up when time them a try running at the fire. I don't know, so when we say fire,
Right,
a real
right.
fire, you know see it?
Right,
I remember say a high fire, you know, so
Right.
not a normal fire like wood, you know.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
a high around come off
So it's hard to
fire.
take it out, man.
So it's harder, so them uniform a burn up and police a ball and all kind of thing. And you know what I mean? So what we used to do all when the BBC and all them brother they a flame, we take with them camera.
Right.
You understand? We send all camera guy Jamaica out of the riot. Yeah man, we send them camera guy Jamaica, put it in a barrel and send it go home because we couldn't keep it. Because them are gonna fight it. So we send them guy Jamaica and me see camera, me send guy Jamaica I shoot for Jamaica TV and feel proud.
Yeah, come on.
Understand?
Yeah. Oh my God. I love that story. Amazing, man. Amazing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. So, you know, a whole heap of thing going within.
Right.
That's something there. Luckily enough, the only thing what happened to me in the riot was me have one bossy Grenada.
Right.
Cause them time I'm up now and I play the big cocks and so on and
Right.
name Black Dread boss, you know, everybody know me.
Right.
I drive one Chris Gold Grenada and stay so.
Right.
And in the riot, some of my friends them I say, yo, collateral damage. I say, what you mean collateral damage? The man them just put 2 bricks on the accelerator, yeah, tie it up with some string and put it in a drive and full it up at beer gas and all of the seat them and catch that fire and they just drive down the road so straight until it crash and blow up.
Wow.
So it took me about 4 years because the man them wouldn't pay me for my car. Them I say, me not live around there so my car register somewhere else so wait I do a Brixton in a riot. Me say I was there and I get caught up in the riot and
Right.
me couldn't move my car because police blocked the road so we have to
Right.
move so me have to leave my car.
Right.
So we didn't leave in my car get burned up.
Right.
Which is a logical story.
Story, yeah.
Of course. Then if you're a logical person, it's a logical story.
But
You understand?
do you think because they knew who you were, they made the story?
No, them never know me yet.
Oh, okay.
I know them are gonna start knowing me. They don't know me yet.
Right.
Me was like, cause me live around there, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so me not tell you that part there, you know. Me
Right.
live around there, you know.
Yeah.
So when them a come for run down people, we have bare flats round there.
Right.
So the police then come, we just go lock up in our flat them.
Right.
And them I run up and down and I look for people. And we look upon them out I win and say, hey, go on man, we in here. So in the night now when them can't see it, we back at them again. You understand? So I said,
how long did this go on for?
about 2 day and 3 nights.
Wow.
So right through, I want to tell you, say we end up come off of the road, cause it become like, you know, them come with horse and them come with all kind of sitting now and all kind of police are come out with gun and some riot shield and man I say, time to cool off a little thing, you know, cause
it's a different thing now.
Yeah, different thing. So but we make a statement.
And we appreciate the journey of black culture and what that meant at the time for us. You know, the people were frustrated. You know, we felt like, I guess, that, you know, we weren't being treated the right way, and I felt like, you know, I'm not promoting riots, but what I do feel like, from my understanding of the history of black culture in the UK and this black culture period, without riots, we don't see much change.
Yeah, uprising. Then we can't call it a riot. We call it an uprising.
Right. We see change happen more dramatically and faster, usually after instances like that. But love the story.
But you know, one thing I used to say from even back then, I used to say to the man himself, don't burn down Brixton.
Right. Why did you say that?
We could go West End. Because, alright, you see if we burn down Brixton, they might take 20 years and 10 years to fix it back. You know, see, I just know they might fix back Brixton really. And they might fix it for them way. Right? But you see anything up in the West End, you see newspaper riot and all them kind of riot there. By tomorrow morning, Mr. Harrods have him shop fixed. Mr. Sainsbury's have him shop fixed. Mr. Marks and Spencer, Mr. Tesco, them fix them thing by them have money so till them can't count it. So when we our place burn down, we go fix up our place. So we could go up at West End, go burn it down, and then we come back in and relax and watch the news and say, yeah, West End burn down because we achieve more. Because the whole world, remember, is the capital of England, you know. So if you burn it down, the whole world, I go listen. You understand? So that's the demographics, you know where I do. A war, you know.
Yeah. So to take you back to 93 now, the store's opening. You've gone to Jamaica, you've gone to America, you acquired a strong collection of music records, and you're ready to launch now. What did that look like in terms of black culture in Brixton at that time? How was the vibe in the area? What was the people on the street saying? What was the expectation of someone like yourself, being, you know, a major figure from London in Brixton, opening a store like this? What was the expectations like for yourself?
Let me tell you a little story about how the shop, the name of the shop come about. When I first opened the shop, it was called Discount Records, because my idea was to discount the price of all records, undercut every record shop, because I thought they were overpriced and they're selling it. And I did a survey in Jamaica, and it was 37 pence to buy a record and ship it, and it would be at my shop on my counter to sell to you. 37 pence. And it has sell for £1.50. So me I say, wait, so much percentage of money I make 300-400% on one record. So I kill them, I kill my people, and my people not the money. So me decide to open a shop now and charge £1.10 and £1.20. And if you come and you only have a pound, me I take a pound. You understand?
So it wasn't just about music, it was even a political statement.
Yes, man, because the man that I sell the record them too dear. And them thing, you know, and me know say my record them I can always sell them for a pound. Because I me make them. So no man can tell me what price to sell my things at. And before I remember I said the man was telling me the price where I'm gonna sell my record when he buy it from me at this price. But then when I give to him for that, him sell it for £2 and £2.50. So me I say, this thing can't work. So anyway, the shop now build up a good, cause the name Discount Record. And then one day me the outside I shop and we're gonna put up a sign. And Bridget and I said, boy, that Discount Record sitting in a look too bossy, you know. We don't call the shop Black a Dread. I mean, I said, nah man, we know what black people stay. When you go say Black a Dread, you're gonna say, yeah, show off and you hype up yourself and this and that and the other. So the Saturday now, we're out at the shop and we have some paper, so we have about 6-7 people outside with a piece of paper, and them start do a survey and asking random people, what do you think we should call the shop?
Right.
Discount Records or Black Jet.
Right.
And by 1 o'clock the day, we have over 600 people.
Wow.
As unanimously.
Right.
So the first time we put up the Black Jet record.
Wow.
So that's all the thing, and that's all the name Black Jet record come from, although me did done name Black Jet already.
Right.
But me never like to say, me never want to call the shop that.
Right.
Because me just think so people now go, our people not like see progress sometime,
Right.
So it's like they would have say Black Jet and go Marley's.
Right.
You understand? Or Black Jet and leave Brixton, go to Clapham Junction to Dublin.
Right.
But a white man won that.
Right.
You understand? And me I sell the record for £1.20, myself for £1.75. And you come from New Cross or Lewisham, pass me, I'm gonna way at Clapham Junction, gonna put the money in a slave master pocket.
Right.
You understand? Because some used to see it. So me I say, well, if you keep on doing that, we'll do that. We're not gonna progress.
Right.
So, but by this time now, because of me standing in the community and go on, people used to carry all them children.
Right.
So I start a thing in my shop now. One day I was walking in Brixton outside of Woolworths and I see some them youths are bully some more youth. So I take the youth them and say, come with me, man.
Right.
Body can't trouble you, Brixton is. I carry them go to my shop.
Right.
5 of them.
Right.
And ease off the next youth them and have them in the shop. And I say to them, say, anytime anybody trouble you in Brixton, just come to this shop.
Right.
Nobody. Me gonna tell my staff, say if them see you now,
Right.
they must make sure them take care of you and make sure when they get home. Okay.
Right.
So them youth they start telling them friend.
Right.
So when me look now my shop start full up of here little youth car, them feel like say they feel more comfortable.
Right.
So me I say, oh what is I want? So this is how some parents start bring them children come now and say, well, you need to talk to my son, because all him talk about is you.
Right.
So me I say, me what me do? I say, but at your place them come and them rate you.
Right.
So I find myself now being this person where all of a sudden the people put me in a position to say community this, community that. Me never chose this at the community.
They chose it.
Yeah, them chose it. Parents come, man have argument with the woman and them come tell me I try sort it out. So I find myself I do things, but at the point you don't even know say that you're doing.
Right.
It just happen organically.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Me don't know say that me I do. So if you come with your problem and me help you solve it, you're gone.
Right.
Me don't think nothing nice.
People in London, and when he came to London, you were one of the people that he connected with on his state visit. Do you want to talk about how that went for yourself?
Yeah, man. So, it goes. So the brethren, we didn't meet Mel and stuff like that. So you have to just, alright, so you want to hear about that. Alright, so what happened was, we heard through the grapevine because Mel and Larson and certain people, they were very close to the ANC.
Right.
So they heard that they were planning to take Nelson Mandela to Deptford.
Right.
So they must say, what do we think? We say, yo, if Nelson Mandela come at Deptford, a riot. We are going to Deptford, go riot, we mash down. We are carrying everybody from Brixton, go mash down the whole of Deptford. Oh, Mandela, if you know, say, Brixton a black people community, and you go Deptford, which is you have Millwall and them places, which is blatantly racist and them thing there.
Right.
So the man them said, we could do something about it.
Right.
So we had a meeting and we went to this house over in North London. And we wrote a letter, the 4 of us sat in there, me and my friend Dennis and the other 2 man then. We sat down and we wrote a letter to Nelson Mandela, but because them man there have links with the ANC and the South African embassy, the letter got to the embassy and as I attach it, and it goes straight to Mandela.
Right.
So Mandela get it. Me don't know where this man is yet now, this man don't know me, so we just, but him know them 2 man there.
Right.
So them decide say, cause the Queen have our Queen's Trust at Deptford, Prince Charles have Prince's Trust in a Brixton, which Prince's Trust are the place to help build up the recreation and try to set up even my shop. Me get a shop front outside. We did find out where I go and get a shop front. So I go and do shop front. So, no, I go on. So me know said, so me I say, yo, we get a shop front from the man at Brixton, the boss to come. So anyway, when him a come, I got a call. And him said to me, say, look, the president's coming in. top secret. You can't tell nobody's coming in tonight, cause the news that say I'm coming in tomorrow. Right. But if I'm coming in tonight, like I think about 2 o'clock in the morning. Right. So them said to me, look, he's playing, he sleeps and he's playing, so he won't need to come and sleep. Right. So he's gonna be working as soon as he comes off the plane. Right. So I want to say some people where he can relate to, who can say they're from the community. Yes. Because the question when he said to me was, what do I say? Right. If I was to go out. I mean Nelson Mandela. Where man? You chat too much, man. But through my friend Dennis now, they did it when we write the letter. Him say, you know where blacks, me and you will go. Right. And I call one man a Coventry named Macook, one of my friend. And I say, Macook, you go meet Mandela morning, you want to come? Right. So you mean if I want to come? What time if I reach there? I say I have to reach there by at least 3:30 because we have to go get passed to go in at the hotel because they have level 5 clearance. Right. To go in at the hotel, you have MI5.
What hotel was this?
It named the Park Hotel. Right. In a Park Lane.
Park Lane, yeah.
Just one back of Park Lane there. Right. So you have to get, so it's a road, it's a dead end road, so that's why they put him up there, so because nothing can come from the way there, so them can secure the place, them can control who are coming. So Macook reached London by 2 o'clock. Macook reached London. Macook reached there before me. Right. So when me didn't know me, I said, me not see nobody, only me and Digo. But Macook come. Right. So we end up, I got in. And when we go in, the man them say, well, the big man want to see you now. Right. I say, the big man want to see we. Me check, so we just go there and people are going to do there and everybody are going to do there and all the way I go just put ideas together. Right, no, the man say he want to see we, he want to see the man who write the letter. Right. So which was me, Digo, Larson, Mel them. And we write the letter. So we did it with him and spend about 20 minutes in there, half an hour, cause them have meeting are going downstairs as well. Right. Different meeting are going downstairs. So the whole thing, we did it from them times until when the meeting go on, and after the meeting, him go meet the Queen. Right. So him say I'm gonna meet all of the people and before him go meet the Queen. Right. Him now go see her first before him say we, because
as in the black people.
Yeah. Right. Because our reggae music's a free Nelson Mandela. Right. And we did I say it, you know. Remember, you know. Right. From our music was the music where I carried, you know. Right. South Africa free Mandela. Right. Apartheid, this everything. Reggae music was a forerunner. Right. Was the thing where did I burn the fire for Mandela. So he wants the people who involved in that kind of a zone there. Right. You understand? Yeah. Yeah. So I saw me get for me at the bar.
So what was it like when he came to Brixton?
Mad.
Right. Paint us a picture.
Alright, so he came to Brixton in the recreation center. Right. And for me, was one of the highlights of my life. Wow. I was given 8 minutes to put on a performance in front of Nelson Mandela, his daughter, and Prince Charles.
Hold on 1 second. So people can understand the magnitude of what you're saying. How many people do you think were in Brixton that day when Nelson Mandela was in Brixton?
Boy, thousands and thousands of people just come out. Because they would block every people, they all bow. Because remember, it's a police escort him get all the way. You know.
Right. Have you ever seen that many people in Brixton at one time?
No, or maybe only in the riot. Right. Maybe only in the riot times,
Yeah, apparently we have to make it move forward, unfortunately. But I feel like I want to ask you a serious question. Yeah. And, you've been keeping it very honest so far, and I feel like that's what I appreciate about you the most. You've been very real with everyone. You said you'll be real from the beginning, but having came to Brixton, seen Brixton, lived Brixton, created Brixton, been the best part of Brixton. How do you see the future of Brixton from now? Because it's changed a lot. It's changing, and as the cultural home of black culture for the UK, where do you see the future lies for Brixton and what it means to the black community?
Well, when Etta said about the 3 months free, right? Yeah, was in the community at the time, and
Right.
I knew about the 3 months.
Right.
So I was going around and I was actually telling people, say, listen, you can't get 3 months rent free in the market, you know.
Right.
All you need to do is just put a little plan together,
Right.
go to them, and we get it fast forward because
Right.
the little man were up there.
Right.
We kind of have a link with him.
Right, right.
So anybody who get a thing, you're going to go through.
Right.
You're going to go through the gate. But hardly nobody not take it up. I must say,
Right.
enter I want next Rasta man, me say,
Yeah.
take up the thing and
Next door to her.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, and Pempanzi,
Right.
who have the food shop, the vegetarian food shop
Okay,
on the
yeah,
corner,
yeah.
and then you have the Trinidadian Virgin
Right.
wings and things.
Yes,
Yeah.
on the front.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
on the front. So
Yeah.
I just them people there
Right.
take up the thing where they go on. Because what happened was, it looked like Chelsea Market closed down,
Right.
and they moved all the people from there
Right,
into
right.
the community.
Right,
So
right.
me call it ethnic cleansing.
Wow.
That me call it.
Right.
Them clean Brixton.
Right.
Cause them promise you to move you to Tantanite,
Right.
to Croydon,
Right.
to Narberry,
Right.
which is meant to be a cut above Brixton.
Right.
But the building them in Narberry were at 400,000 or 500,000.
At that time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When the black people them move up there, you know, the building them worth 300,000, you know.
Right.
And the building where them leave at Brixton
We're
start
fucking-
worth 600 and 700,000.
Yeah.
So them know them that though.
Right.
So that's why me call it ethnic cleansing.
Wow.
Them clean
Wow.
the place
Wow.
away and then them whitewash it and bring in a different community
Right.
because them can't afford for our next uprising.
Right.
Them can't afford for black people to have a stronghold. Them just want to have that some black, yes so. Not like if you see the Indian them, you
Right.
think you can go looting, go ramp with no Indian.
Or less though.
You could have named police to come over, you have got to carry the army. Yeah, or
Right.
two things. Anywhere where you see them congregate,
Yeah.
you can't go trouble them.
Right.
Because them stick together.
Right.
Them
Right.
is like a stamp and a letter.
Right.
Them stick. So, like, me just I said to somebody, say, back in the day, we know the African brethren them because them just different from the Caribbean brethren them.
Right.
We know the African woman them because them wear some big aisle shoes.
Right.
And them shoes that it stop wear.
Right.
So, you know, a serious thing. So
Right.
you could have know who was African, but now the thing integrate away where everybody more unified now and you can't really tell who is who.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So what happened was that the place now become more, we are more together as a people,
Yeah.
but them don't move out already.
Right.
You understand?
Right,
So if
yeah.
you get back in now, and just a little small thing them like this.
Right.
Well, you understand? And
Yeah.
certain things, but you know, Indian man a sell me my food.
Right.
He must sell me my food.
Right.
Which black man are selling the Indian and the Korean them sitting there?
It's not possible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You can't sell them thing. Them not
Right.
buy them not if you are sell it, them not come buy it from you.
Right. It wouldn't.
Yeah? Them I go to them Indian.
Right.
So when we learn how to put our thing together properly
Right.
and stop with this thing, me come from Africa, I come from Trinidad or whatever.
Right.
Foolishness, Jamaica. All the way are one people because if you know what my mouth and me know what my mouth, you can't tell where me come from.
Right.
Yeah?
People think I'm African and I was born in Jamaica.
Alright, you see what me I say?
Yeah.
Then that me I say to you, sir.
Right.
All the while, me say African brethren. And me say, which part of yard you come from? And he say, no, I come from Nigeria. I
Right.
say, yeah, my brother.
Yeah.
That unity thing there.
Yeah.
You know, when we go Gambia and them places, and me see how the people them live at Gambia,
Right.
and me see how them adapt our culture.
Right.
That's
Jamaican
something
culture.
what we have do
Right.
against one another.
Right.
I want stupidness.
Very stupid.
I
Yeah.
want stupidness. Irishman stick with Irishman.
Right.
American stick with American.
Right.
Make we stick with the African because we don't have nothing else. That's
Right.
Africa we have, you know.
Right.
Our biggest piece of land that if the whole of we go the African until it's over, you know.
Right.
But if the whole of we go Jamaica sink. You understand?
Yeah, maybe.
So we dash our whole continent for two little island.
Wow.
And because England is just an island.
Wow.
England no big.
Jamaica's just an island too. Right. Right.
Guyana bigger than England, you know.
Right.
Little Guyana where you see have no money and broke and thing bigger than England.
Right,
So we don't know what we have, but them call it creature comforts.
Right.
And because of the creature comforts where they are England,
Yeah.
we get caught up and we don't understand say, even now today, in a Jamaica when things that we have at Jamaica and they're England.
Right.
The type of living where we can live at Jamaica.
Right.
Me know a man who live in a 5-bedroom house.
Right.
Right? And if you buy a house in a 5-bedroom in England, it costs you 2-3 million.
Right.
You can go to Jamaica go buy that same house for £400,000 pounds and live like a king and have a maid.
Right.
And people come clean your house and wash your car because you live like a king, which is that's where we come from.
Right.
The kingmanship, we're a king.
Right.
So we have to live, we have to know our culture and we sister in them a queen.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So you have to know where you come from. So if you don't know where you come from, then you can't know where you go.
Right.
So the answer to the question is that the people have to centralize and unionize themselves so them can move on.
Right.
But like the young generation, them have this entrepreneur thing and business and them have them thing lock and them go to school and them get education and nobody can tell them nothing. Because them know them have them brain and them know them can do something. So me think say it'll look good.
Right.
Even though it don't look good now, sometimes, you know, them say what is bitter to the mouth, sweet to the belly.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And we're sweet to the mouth, bitter to the belly.
Right.
So right now we have to take some of the bitterness so we can get the sweetness later.
Right.
Yeah, man. So I just that. We just want more business open. And when we do open the business, then
Go support them.
and that's why you hear me say, me hide the tissue.
Right. Yeah.
Because I learn these things long time.
Right.
When me I 11, I do my first movie, you know.
Right.
And it never even come out. I don't know what I'm doing. When me 11-year-old, I do acting.
Right.
You understand? Before me running from home, I do acting, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
So, but me know one thing. When you go up and for them scene, nothing in that thing there. If the people them not pay, it not show.
Right.
It not come on the screen.
Right.
So someone go on thing and them say, Adidas, Adidas all over them clothes and them trainers and them this and them that.
Right.
And Adidas, no one, we don't care about you.
Right.
Because you advertise my clothes.
Kanye West said the same thing you're saying.
You advertise my shoes.
For
years me know them thing about.
Right.
Me no do no advert. Me no, as a matter of fact, me no buy clothes where make in a shop.
Right.
My suit when me have on, and my tailor make it.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Me no wear clothes where other people make and give me for wear. Me have my own style, my own design.
Right.
Me no want look. Me no. My friend a keep him birthday party, right?
Yeah.
And him spend £1,300 on him outfit.
Wow.
And when him got the dance, and 9 man in a dance spend £1,300 have a fiend birthday. I don't know who for birthday because everybody have on the same suit.
Right.
And when me go in on my £200 suit, man I say, yo John, that's where you get that from?
Right.
I say, me tailor Jamaica £100 for a suit exclusive. And you one in the world where nobody else not have it.
Right.
You understand? So me don't know what better. Whether me have on one hat where everybody have on, I want hat where only me alone can wear. I want trousers where me alone can wear. No man never tried it on before me in a shop, and me can wear this. You understand? And you understand? Me not have it. Boss, that's why I say me hide the tissue. Because me not do product placement for free. They have to give me money for sure that pan them thing. Yeah, so you have to know what you do. So when you get an interview, make sure say you put on all black.
Right. That's why I'm wearing all black.
Yeah, you understand? Make sure you don't have nothing, we have no name on it. Because it's free advertising for that company. No matter what. But some man see the bigger picture.
But you know what? I wanna thank you so much for coming here today. Honestly, I'm even shocked that this has actually happened. Like this is one of the biggest moments I've had so far because you know feeling like real people like you that actually represent our community and fought for the places that we enjoy now. That I remember being in Brixton and I never even experienced what a skinhead would be. I heard about them. I heard about it from people from your generation. They used to tell me all the time like, we used to run from skinhead. They had to learn how to fight because we wasn't around for them for a while.
Steel smoke cat boat, man. And used to cut out the front of them shows.
Right.
And shine up the steel.
Right. And I just want to give you a massive thank you for what you've done for our community. Thank you for coming out today. And everyone, please give Black Agent a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. And Unity is strength.
Unity is strength.
Unity is strength. Them say Brixton Splash was too popular. That's why them stop it. If 45,000 people, it was too popular. Imagine.
We need it back. We need it back.
Imagine. Them no one. Them say it's too popular.
If they can do City Splash, we can have Brixton Splash. I'm telling you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Love and respect everyone. And have a good night and give thanks. But Jah is the Almighty. See me I say.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for coming out. We're gonna clear the room, and if you want to hang around, have a drink, dance and stuff, check out the exhibition. Please do. So thank you again for coming out. I appreciate it. And have a good night. Safe travels, everyone.